ばんは。あれよ。あれよ。ディスコエリジウムの続きだね。で、これが私こと主人公、記憶喪失のおじさんだね。なんかね、死体をね、探してはいた。死体はあったんだよね。で、これどうやって元の画面に戻るんだあ、戻れた。そう。ここにね、あるんだけど、なんか回収できなかったんだよね。で、どうしようって言ってたっけっていう話よね。これをね。
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse smell. Emitting it is all it does now.
Active decay. It's okay to throw up, officer. No one is judging.
ああ、前回は吐いたよね。
He's about to blow! Cock's gonna blow, Kuno!
で、アンモニア持ってきたらいけんじゃねとか言われて持ってきたものの、別にというか、普通に無理だった。という感じだった気がするんだけど。
Yes?
No response. He just arches his brow.
Have you tried concentrating on something other than your personal affair?
There is a sudden, harsh edge to his voice, like he's tired of hearing about your personal
個人
affairs.
的事情が気にならないのか。てか、何するって言って終わってたっけ、前回。
Fine. We should get through this day first.
一日
Off
の
hours begin
終
at
わり
9
の
p.m.
打ち合わ
If you're
せ。
still having trouble then, I can give you an orientation.
まずは今日一日を乗り切ってからだ。21時に勤務時間が終了するから、その時になってもまだ困っているようなら僕がレクチャーする。あ、いい人だね。
Try work. The case at hand. It can work miracles.
今は、とりあえず、仕事を集中してやっていこうということでございますね。OK だ。
Focus on other people's troubles, not your own. That is a relief.
自分がね、記憶喪失なのは気にせず、他の人々を気にかけて
Your heart beats twice like a
いけば
fist.
いいの
The
ね。
serotonin deficiency makes your teeth clench.
感謝。
The lieutenant blinks, his mouth slightly open, and his body motionless.
Excuse me, I was lecturing you. I shouldn't have. You should consult a medical professional if you feel that you need help. Have you tried concentrating on something other than your personal affairs?
There is a sudden, harsh edge to his voice, like he's tired of hearing about your personal
個人
affairs.
的事情が、聞き飽きてる。ちょっと、じゃあ、もう、いっか。気に入らないのかも聞いとくかでもちょっとあんまりしつこくするの
Focus
も
on
良くな
other
いか。
people's troubles, not your own. That is a...
Your heart beats twice. The lieutenant glances at his electronic wristwatch. A moment passes. The lieutenant glances at the sports watch on his wrist.
開かない。開かない。この辺も見た気がするんだよね。
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple. The cobalt blue surface feels rough. Old cobalt paint, rough on the fingers. The door does not budge.
開かないわ。私も記憶喪失だから。
Can I help you? Another thing. Great. I love those. Oh, yes, that door. Sure. There's nothing mysterious about
何
it.
の変哲
It's
も
just
な
a
いドア
door.
か。
No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. And I don't... Or some boring storage space with a bunch of old junk.
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely. He looks at the dust on his finger and wipes it off.
Yes, not the whole damn union, thank God. They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types.
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get...
Yes,
カラオケ。
absolutely out.
Absolutely in the
カラオ
question.
ケは論外。
First, we find a
なるほど。
The worker is in a deep slumber. There is only one way to wake this bone idol from his slumber. Roar like a hurricane. Rip the buildings from the earth.
Why the yelling, man?
ああ、質問できるかな。
Really? You woke me up for that? Fine.
ワイルド
What is it, officer?
ハインズについて教えてくれ。仲間たちのストライキ中にどうしてこんなところで寝ている？ストライキを裏で指揮しているのは誰？裏庭の死体オタクのか？裏で指揮しているのは誰？
The workers. The union. We know what we need. Okay. I guess there's also Everard. He's in charge. Yeah. What about it? You know, people die here
ドブ
every
の
day.
中で見つかっ
Someone's
た
found in a
や
ditch.
つ
Another one
か
falls
いろい
in
ろ
a mano. A third one
いろんな
gets
種類の
eaten
死体が
by stray
あるんだね。
dogs. If someone has decided to die on top of a tree, then how is it my concern? I can tell you this. Trouble's ahead.
You have a pretty solid feeling that the man's not just mouthing off. He's strong, but even he...
You heard what I said. Draw your own conclusions. That's all I know, and I prefer to keep it this way.
The lieutenant gives you a little nod, then makes a note in his blue notebook.
あ、キムはなんかメモってるな。なんかあったんかな。発見が。
Indeed. Help yourself to some. Wait. No. That's the name of my employer.
He doesn't sound too enthusiastic about this.
How's it going? Haven't you noticed what's going on outside? Good. Then you understand the gist of it. For one, I...
The dock worker doesn't answer. His head is already...
雨降ってんだけど。あと何言ってたっけな。ビニール袋が欲しいのと、あの辺通らせてもらえないのと、
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything.
ああ、倉庫ってないですか？
A warehouse? I don't know. Maybe. I don't really care what for it does.
ちょっと店員興味ないらしいな、フリってのことに。
She looks up from under her brow.
Fine. Frit doesn't have a warehouse. Just a
店の
little
中に
back room
小さ
here.
な裏部屋があるだけ。
She looks up from her magazine.
Yes. What we have is there. In the medicine cabinet.
Reality? You mean what reality? Economic reality?
I don't know. What about it?
連合とは一体何なんだ？そういうものがあると聞いたんだ。くだらん話であんたの邪魔をするのはこれくらいにしておこう。なんか聞くか。
Our government? Or do you mean something else? Sorry, I really need to finish this article. When ordinary people take over the government and, yeah, it happened like 50 years ago or so. Sorry, I'm not very good at this.
Cool.
裏？店の裏みたいなのはあるって言うておりましたな。頑張って裏回ればいいって。どうやって裏回る？タバコも探してたな、そういえば。バッチ、通報したの誰？これ時間かかるんだ。秘密の通路を探索しろ。ホステル兼カフェテリアの忘れられた一角に入り、中に何が隠されているか調べろ。悲しい曲の入ったテープを入手しろ。高等人種理論の脳内の空いている内面化スロットに入れろ。内面化スロット。内面化スロットってどれ？もう入れているのか。じゃあこれはもうやっているということなのか。じゃあもううろうろするぐらいしかやることないのか。
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its... There is a hollow ring as your toe has suffered damage.
Cool. You really showed that mail collection box.
郵便箱に思い知らせてやったな。なんかいい人だね。
I don't. Let's go.
The mail collection box.
効果投入式の望遠鏡が壊れてて使えない。この先北の交差点。アルティネーズふ頭。この辺見てないの？袋がないんだよ。
This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The instruction manual says to insert 25 centimes and pull the handle while looking inside. Then your money disappears into the coin. The curtains on the display open. You leave. The lenses shift. The ghost sharpens into an islet in the bay. In the ruins, a man-made structure is visible. A half-sunken sea fort. Its concrete almost reconquered by nature. It looks as if it was abandoned quite some time ago. Nothing but a rotten tooth remains of the anti-aircraft tower. A lonely birch tree grows out of it.
何らかの建物の跡が
Really?
あるらしい
I don't have the eyesight to make it out. Really? I don't have the eyesight to make it out.
そんだけだ
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest.
鳥も鳴いてる俺が見てきたこと言ったことを袋ないか袋おお袋なんかいろいろ持てるかもねでも袋あるよゴミ拾おう壁にね弾痕も散らばってるらしいよトラブルを犯さない人もいるゴミ拾いまくろうキムさんはどうしたんだよいしょあとどこだっけなどっかにゴミあったんだよねこれかな
The dented yellow mill. The tear machine stands in the corner. Your bottles clunk into the machine, and the money appears with a
あ
satisfying
なたが入れた
jingle.
瓶が音を
You're
立て
a
て
richer
機械
man
に飲
now.
まれ出てきた小銭の音が心を潤すこれでさっきよりも金持ちだ
The tear machine stands in the corner. A sign says, one bottle equals 10 cents.
No. You need tear to use the tear machine.
こうやって換金ができるというわけでございますか地震によって地面が割れてるらしいこの人たちの話も聞いてないかもな
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you
恥ずかし
bring
くない
out
の
the
か
measuring tape.
メジャーを取り出すたびに背中のことをメソメソ言いやがって
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup.
ルネお前さんはトゲがありすぎる楽しくやろうじゃないか サンドイッチいいな。
Look, in his hand, going into his mouth. The sandwich.
あいつが口に運んでるもの、なんて美しいサンドイッチなんだ。やっぱね、気になるよね、サンドイッチ。
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration.
These manly men are playing balls.
この男らしい男たちは玉遊びをしている。玉を拾って参加しろ。考えるな。考える前に行動するなのか。す
Shoot
るのだ。
first. Ask
ショータイム
questions.
だ。
That's the spirit. Don't even waste your breath asking about the game. They wouldn't know anyway. They're way past their prime. You are immediately surprised by the ball's lack of weight.
お前はその軽さに驚く。問題ない。どうにかなる。
God, this is right. You feel the familiar tremble of excitement
勝利
and
に先
adrenaline
立つ
that
馴染み
precedes
のある武者
every
震いと
victory.
アドレナリンを感じる。
Time has frozen.
解き放て。どうすか。
Merde! Bordel de merde! What the hell is your problem? I don't care if you are a cop. You do not just ruin someone's game.
A man his age getting worked up like that? Better watch that blood pressure.
You vandalized our
I'm at the
game,
ball.
son. We can't play petanque with 5 bull. Well, it damn well isn't. It's petanque. You ruined a petanque game. We want our bull back.
ブー
Take it easy, René. This is just a misunderstanding, isn't it, officer? No harm done.
Of course there's harm done, you orange slug. You owe us a goddamn bull.
まあ、
Good. Mistakes are forgiven when men at least try to right their wrongs. I believe you will try. Now, why did you approach us?
聞いてみるか。
Unfortunately, I don't.
何も知らんらしい。
Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement. But this affair has passed me by completely. In Martinez, the union is the law. So can you really blame them? Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a
タツは
problem
無
with
別的
policemen.
な表現だ。
On the
わしは
contrary,
警察官
I
との
admire
間
the
に問題
effort
は
to
ない。
bring
むしろ
order to our
秩
streets.
序をもたらそうとする努力を高く評価している。
If I knew, I would not be afraid to tell you. I simply don't. I'm an old man, not a coward. Yes. The terrain here provides an interesting variety to a familiar game. Yes. It was left by heavy artillery fire.
Heavy artillery fire, you say? That's the best kind.
Why what? Because that's what happens when communists hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slaughterhouse. You commies, communists, socialists, anarchists, call them what you like. They just chose the name to feel special. Senseless sentimentality. Sadly, no. It was the foreigners who brought them to their knees. We fought valiantly. Troops should have fought dirty, like they did with their suicide sex cult propaganda and mad anarchist women
スカルト
strapped
プ
to
ロ
shrapnel
プロパガン
bombs.
ダだけ分かった。
We didn't so, and we lacked caliber. God bless him, but the suzerain's cannons simply weren't big enough.
なんでマルティネーズで砲撃したんですかね。
Because this place is a damn beachhead. Had to soften the commies up first. Yes, the military coordinated amphibious landing to take back Revachol. Martinez was used as one of the 3 footholds in Revachol during Operation Deathblow in 08. The other 2 are off in Stella Maris and the Delta. This here is Blood Ground, where coalition boots first made landfall and cleaned those rabid dogs out. Most likely, we're playing petanque on their mangled corpses.
Blood ground. You got all
血
René
に濡れ
going
た
there.
戦場会。相
Like
方は
he
首
isn't
を
hungry enough
横に振る。
already.
ルーネはこうなると止まらんぞ。
Damn right, son. They lit the fire of hell on the city before they stormed it.
He approves of this radical approach.
The rest of the city got cleaned up, but Martinez they keep as a monument. And now the Union Socialists are practically running the place.
Well, it's your own damn fault. You, we, the coalition, Revachol.
You don't even begin to truly understand the
な
players
ん
of
か
the
おじさんたち
table,
二人で
let alone
話
the
し始め
specific
てしまっ
circumstances
たの。
surrounding the... What do you think?
俺は何も考えずに行動するタイプだぜ。
I'm just so damn sorry it had to be the coalition. After 8 years of fighting those hyenas, I would have preferred if the Right Honorable King Guillaume returned through Revachol, or even if that damn clan Frisell had risen from the grave and led us. Sadly, that was not the case. Instead, all that is just, holy, and beautiful in the world was wiped away, and now it's neon signs with toothpaste ads everywhere. For this is just what the
あ、
commies
話してる途
wanted.
中だった。
This was their plan all along. This is what they wanted to replace the role of the suzerain with.
ちょっと全体的にわかんないけど、も
The suzerain
いい
is the
か。
king. Has everyone forgotten already?
キングのこと
They've
ね。
forgotten already. It's no use talking to you. You were still in Daddy's balls when it happened. When we took our last stand against the filth and rode the cavalry straight into gunfire.
Volumetric ship compressor.
体積、クソ、圧縮機。
Bizarre scientific news from Revachol West today, where a police officer's shit has been
レ
observed
バショール
at a
西から
pressure
奇
of
妙な
around
化学ニュースが飛び込んできた。
gigabecimals.
警察
These
官のクソが
metallic hydrogen
495
levels of shit
ギ
togetherness
ガ
were
デ
thought
シ
to
マルという
exist
超
only at the
高
center of
圧状
collapsing
態で
stars,
観測された
not
という。
law officials.
この
It
金属
remains to
水
be
素
seen
並みのク
how
ソ
long
密度は
the shit
瀕死の
singularity
星の
lasts.
核内にしか存在しないと思われていたが、それを法執行者がひねり出したのだ。このクソ特異性がいつまで持続するかは現時点では不明。オッケーだ。ということはスキル取得までに時間が関わるということでございますか、もしかして。なんか鉄球見つけたらいいんだ。発見済みのホワイトスキルチェック。白色で表示されているものは今すぐ挑戦可能。どういうこと？なんか今すぐ挑戦可能らしいが。
There he still is, looking right through you with his white eyes. The body below is entirely dedicated to that corpse. As you breathe in, the odor comes over.
鼻で呼吸すると刺繍がお前を襲う。ここから逃げろという脳内の呪文と、自ら中身を空にしたがる胃袋。お前は両手を下ろしたまま目を細め、それに立ち向かう。
The man before you is naked, but for a pair of
目の前にある
underpants
死体
and
は
enamel
下着と
boots.
エナムエル
His
質の
skin
ブ
is
ーツ以外は
greenish,
何も身につ
marbled
けてい
with
ない。
decaying veins,
あ、
and
ハ
blotched
ロー
by lividity.
ハ
A
ロー
fading web of tattoos covers his chest and shoulders. The cargo belt used to fasten him to the branch above appears industrial in strength.
ディスコエリジウムっていうゲームをプレイしているよ。死体がぶら下がっているんですけど、下着とブーツ以外何も身につけてないらしい。男の皮膚は青みを帯び、腐った血管と死斑でまだら模様になっている。胸部と肩を覆うタトゥーが消えかけているのも見える。タトゥーってそんな消えかけるとかあるの？あの上部の枝から男を吊り下げているコンテナ用ベルトは強度から見て業務用だろう。なんだろう、皮が剥がされてるとか。
The material appears to be ceramic. Its clean white stands in
セ
stark
ラミックの
contrast
ブーツを
to
履いと
the
るらし
decaying
い。
flesh above the knee. The man wore thick polymer socks, probably for padding. A fine array of interlocking plates covers them. Delicate and
上
fragile,
品にして繊
they
細。
feel alien to the world around you. Out of place somehow.
周囲の世界とは異質な印象を受けます。どこか場違いと言いますか。確かにね、なんかブーツだけガンダムみたいだよね。
They are armor, no boots.
これはアーマーであってブーツじゃない。なるほどね。厳密に言えばサバトンだ。どういうアーマーですか？
Ceramic plate. Zirconium dioxide, most likely. This is where the make would be. Under the heel. Fair weather.
フェアウェ
Fair
ダー。
weather model
Model.
T500VE. I'm guessing that's vitreous enamel. This is advanced stuff.
先進的なアーマーらしいですね。アーマーの一部なら残りの部分は地元民に奪われた？なんだか場違いに見える材質だね。指で叩く、脱がす。眺めようかな。
It is. It's expensive. We've requested similar material for our tactical units
僕
for
らは
years
何年
now.
も
The constabulary
機動部
deemed
隊
it
の
too
装備に
costly.
同じような
In
素
that
材を採
time,
用す
we
るよう
lost
訴えて
6
きたん
men
だ
to
が、上層部
semi-automatics.
はコストがかかりすぎると判断して、その間に6人の警官がセミオートマティック銃で撃たれて死んだ。あら。
For a full set, about 4 years of wages.
高いね。
As a wage, it's regrettably small. But for a piece of hardware, yes, that's a lot.
残
Piece
り
by
は
piece. He's been out here for 7 days. It would be odd if
7
they
日間も
didn't.
ぶら下がってる間に窃盗、盗難。
We should keep a lookout for these pieces. The armor could yield information.
なるほど。
Maybe he'll know something.
食うのが何かをしてるかもしれない。でもなんかすごいバカにされるんだけ
If
ど、あ
you
の少
wear
年に
those
話しかけたら。
pieces, it will help me protect your mortal coil. Yes, bullets will fly. They always do. The sabatons dangle off the man's decaying form, ageless and synthetic.
この男はどうやってそんな高価な装備品を揃えた？
That's for us to find out. My initial report on
そ
the
れも
area
仕
suggests he
事。
was a security guard for the harbor company. But that's just hearsay. I agree. This equipment is way beyond what a guard can afford.
警備員が買えるレベルをはるかに超えとる高級装備。
A small bell-like sound fills the air. Suddenly, your biceps coil up. Your elbow is sharp and cocked for a punch. Your fist connects to the boot with the same ding. The sound does not appear to get louder. The only difference is a barely audible click underneath. Sounds like the end of a long dice roll.
Did you hear that? A click?
今のが聞こえたか？カチッという音が。ね、ダイスロールの音がね。
This is a kinetic redistributor. It spreads the incoming energy horizontally from plate
加え
to
られた
plate.
運動エネルギーをプレートからプレートへと
That's the
表
sound
面
you
的
heard.
に拡散させることができる。プレート同士がつながるときにさっき聞こえたような音がする。
Faint organic lines cover the plates where they separate into smaller ones. These plates then divide into smaller plates until there are hundreds of them altogether.
ちょっと脱がす前に死体全体も見るか。
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in tattoos and extremities blotched pink
まだ
and
そういえば
blue.
ベルじゃないや。ブーツしか見てないわ。ベルトも見よう、ベルト
The。hangman's knot is pulled tight by the weight of the corpse below. Yellow, hard-edged polyester cuts into his neck. Above, oh my, there's something on the belt.
ベルトに何か書いてあるぜ。てめえの中の渇きに訴えかけるよく見知った単語だ。
Vermilion in yellow letters along the length of the twisting cargo belt. Only a deep longing for vermilion golden spirits
Vermilion.
lets you decipher the fading logo of the local brewery.
Extremely. Industrial strength. The kind used for tying cargo to lorries.
トラックに荷物を固定したりする際に使うもの。へえ。
Yes, it looks like they use whatever was on hand, paying no attention to not incriminating themselves.
犯人たちはベルトから足がつくことも考えずに、とりあえずその場にあるものを使ったんだ。港にいる港湾労働者が吊るしたという線で行くのか。犯人たちはこの男を晒し者にしたかったんだな。あのポリエステルのベルトは強度が高そうだ。犯人たちはどうやってあそこまで持ち上げたんだ？
A noose is one of those things that's easier to use one way around. I think they lassoed the branch, then pulled on the belt.
投げ縄にして枝に引っ掛けて、それからベルトを引っ張った。するとバックルが閉まる。ほえー。僕ならそうするね。なるほど。
It's not merely polyester, it's steel reinforced. See these lines?
鋼で補強されてる
I see rabbits for more than 20 strands.
ベルト。もっと強いってことっすかね。
This makes getting him down much more problematic
台を下
than
ろ
I
すのは
had
想
assumed.
定よりずっと苦労しそう。
I'm still approaching this as a lynching, yes. Motivated by the ongoing strike. You?
現在発生中のストライキが引き金になったと思うけど、どう思う？どう思う？筋が通ってるな。ごくありふれた話だ。別の真相があるような気がする。ただでさえ情報が多くて整理しきれない。正直整理しきれていないが、そうだよね。そんなすぐ解決するはずね。別の真相がある。
Yes, it often is. This bell worries me.
The cadaver hangs from the cargo belt, limbs limp and torso covered in tattoos.
タトゥーも見ようよ。
An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time they intersect, a small white star is formed in their crossing. Hundreds of fading asterisks riddle his skin. Their concentration is highest around his heart.
これは、夜空の星図？星？電子基板？民族由来の模様？模様かな？
Of no nation that I know of. If anything, it reminds me of religious illumination, last or penultimate century. Men who live harsh lives often turn to innocentic worship. But which one? I see no trace of a humanoid figure.
The pattern does not stir patriotic
この模
or
様はお
religious
前の中の
sentiment
愛
in you.
国心や信
What it
仰
does
心
is
を
speak to
か
the
きたりで
wounded
たりはし
animal,
て、その
the
代わり
male
に
in
傷
particular,
つき、足を引きずった動物に対して、
unable to communicate anything more
特定
than
のある
grunts.
男に対して語
It's
り
impossible
かけ
to
てく
tell
る。
if his advice is right or
So am I.
he wears a wide leather belt around his waist. He takes a thin piece of milled aluminium from his coat pocket and pulls it open. Sounds like a sword being unsheathed. A small lens appears. Some sort of camera.
やってるし見守るか。
Shit, Kuno! What the fuck is that?
An instant color camera. I have only 2 ampoules, so nobody move. I don't want to waste one.
A sound, a shrill flash, followed by the breaking of a small ampoule of glass. You see streams of color pour onto the thick, glossy piece of paper, rolling out.
In case we need it.
後で必要になるかもしれないと言って、キムは冷たい空気の中でその紙を振り、乾かそうとする。紙の上に死体の胸のタトゥーの完璧な複製が出現する。クールな機械だね。
Yes, it is pretty cool, isn't it?
There is only one ampoule left.
It contains insight to the victim's person. By his build, I'd say this was a man of physical violence. The story
具
he
体
wanted
的な
his
暴
body
力
to
を
tell
得意
was
とする
important
男
to
だったと
him.
思う。
It is
彼
his
が自
letter
分の体に
to
語
us.
らせたかった物語
Someone should
は
decipher
きっと
it.
重要なもの
We
に違
need to
い
show
ない。
it around.
これは彼から我々への手紙。誰かが読み解いてやるべきだ。聞き込み時に見せて回る必要があるだろう。なるほどね。なんか口頭でワーワー言われるよりもいろいろわかりやすいかもしれない。なんかそんな感じだね。やっぱ写真があるとね。よいしょ。
Sure. Just don't lose it.
なくすなよ。なくさないように気をつけよ
The glossy-eyed corpse looks by, his mouth mute and his skin as colorful as the chemical rainbow on the photo paper, teeming with opportunistic organisms.
う。日和見金で溢れている。
You've acquired an interactable item. Investigate this item further by going to the Interact tab in your inventory.
インタラクト可能なアイテムを手に入れた。インベントリのインタラクトタブからアイテムの詳細を確認できる。どれですかね、インベントリのインタラクトタブは。わからねえ。
His eyes are milky white and blind to the world, protruding comically from their sockets. There is no one home, just subaquatic terrors there. Dark brown hair grows on his head. His face is ready to explode from the organic processes
どこの
inside.
頭には
The death's
ア
head
ンカー
grin
色の
has
髪が
passed.
生え、
What
顔面
remains
は
is an
内部の有
unrecognizable
機的な
mess.
過程によって今にも爆発しそうだ。頭蓋骨の形状は消え失せ、残っているのは判別不可能な混沌だけだ。おい、死体、教えてくれ。お前は一体誰なんだ。なんですかこれ。型あるか。
The corpse is dead silent. You have no idea why you just said that.
Who is he? He is male, 40 to 50,
彼は
with
男
an
性。
athletic build.
年齢は40歳から50歳。スポーツマンのような体格の男だ。
The corpse looks right through you as you distance yourself from its stench, eyes like a shark. As you narrow your eyes, the monster before you blurs into a violent mess of green and pink. Only the lower extremities are pink with a dash of blue. His fatted hands, thighs, and his neck, just above the noose. The rest of the corpse appears dark green in the cold spring air.
じゃあ目を細めるのをやめてリラックスしますか。
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in tattoos and extremities blotched pink and blue.
で、どうやって死体を下ろしますか。
Are you sure we finished the preliminary
もう遺体
examination
の
of
事
the
前検査
cadaver?
は十分か。
We might
一旦
miss
彼を
some
下ろ
of
して
these
しま
things
う
once
と、もう
he's
今
done.
の状態では観察できないぞ。
The cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt, his torso covered in tattoos and extremities blotched pink and blue.
もう見たでしょ。脱がす？いや、別に後から脱がせるか。
The material appears to be delicate and fragile. They feel the cadaver slowly twists on the cargo belt. His
十分
torso
だ。
The steel reinforced belt presents a unique challenge. I brought chain cutters, but I don't see a good angle of approach to the belt.
チェーンカッターは用意したが、ベルトを切断するにはどこからアプローチしたものか決めかねている。
The cadaver is a good 1.2
死
meters
体
high.
は地上から
Neither one of us
1.2
can
メートル
reach
の
the
高
belt
さ。
without assistance.
我々のどち
And
らも
even
補
if
助
we
なしでは
do,
ベルト
there's
に
the
手が
question of
届かな
catching
い。
it.
仮に届いたとしてもベルトを切断するという問題がある。他の人間に頼めないか。あの枝を切るのはどうだろう。めんどくさそうだからベルトを切るのはやめよう。銃で撃ってベルトを切れないか。助けを求める。もう一度死体を観察してみよう。いろんな提案があります。これは何の赤く光ってたマークだったんだろうね。なんとか素人のことよ。枝を切るのはどうかな。
Climb up there and saw the branch? I don't trust that ladder. The
あのは
assailants
しごは
didn't use
信
it.
用できないし、
It's
犯人
rotten
たち
and
も
less
これを使った
sturdy
形
than it
跡は
looks.
ない。腐
And
っ
I
てる
don't
から
see
見た目
any
ほど
good
頑
way
丈じゃ
up
ない
there.
ぞ。
Honestly, I prefer a non-acrobatic solution to this. Clown cops climb tree, fall down. Enraged cop assaults children after falling from tree. Cretin cop, they like that word, saws the branch he's sitting on, literally. Local children report corpse mutilation.
Fuck yeah! Climb that shit, monkeys!
食うのにまたバカにされてるよ。
See, you're only making them do those things less.
じゃあちょっと違う方法にしますか。
Yes, we should use acrobatics as the very last option, after we've tried everything normal.
あらゆる通常のやり方を試してみよ
Oh, these have got to be the most fucking boring mulka parts I've ever seen.
う。じゃあね。他の人に頼む。
Someone else? You mean like the police?
そうだね。
Someone already did. You know who came? We did. Because we have made bad life decisions. I know it's hard, but I assure you, the others won't come to help us. And we
誰
have
も
a
助けに
growing
は来ない。
sanitary
そ
concern
れに
here.
衛
We
生
need
上
to
の
get him down
懸念が
fast.
刻一刻と高まっている。とにかく大急ぎで遺体を下ろさなくては。ああ、銃で撃つ。
Yeah! Bang bang time, pig! Shoot his head off!
How?
ああ、枝をね。
Yes, the buckle, where it ties the cargo belt to the tree.
Yeah, now we're talking. Entertain a Kuno with some shit.
They'll miss! The pigs will miss Kuno!
撃ってくれ警部補。起こりうる最悪のパターンはなんだ？俺に撃たせてくれ。あ、キムが決めてくれ。キムが決めた方がマシだろう。
Silence. With his elbow sharp, the lieutenant unzips his jacket and produces a lightweight firearm. He drops a paper cartridge in the barrel, separates the scouring stick, and gives the cartridge 5 tucks, securing it in place. He then steps back and assumes the fellow's desk position, taking aim. The corner of his eye twitches. His finger is on the trigger.
頑張って狙ってください。
He's gonna fucking miss!
The kid's voice is drowned in a shrill blast that echoes off the walls of the surrounding tenements. A cloud of smoke slowly parts in the air as the lieutenant steps back and says to himself,
God damn it.
あがって。
A lot of things were wrong with that shot. The
残
fellow's
念な
death
一
was
発
the
だ
wrong。choice. His shoulders were raised.
視力が当てにならない。
He
そん
cannot
な。
trust his eyesight.
そんな。じゃあ、先に言ってくださいよ。ワイがやりますよ、ワイが。
Idiot! Mulka part asshole!
バカにされてるよ。
Kuno could have hit it easy, but then Kuno's not fucking handicapped, is he?
じゃあね、気にするな。
Kuno's sorry too. Kuno feels sorry for the Beano clad.
The lieutenant doesn't say a word.
I have to say, it's beginning to look unlikely.
You know, you don't feel like too bad of a shot yourself.
自分の射撃の腕は悪くないとお前は思っているんだろう。ああ、視力に関してはね、メガネかけてないしね。俺が撃ってみようかな。
It's bad as it is. Us shooting firearms like punks. Go ahead. I'm not stopping you. Just don't lose it.
なくさないでくれよ。すでに銃をなくしておりますからね、俺は。
I only have one gun.
こいつら銃を一つしか持ってないんだ。
This is the sorriest pair of pigs Kuno's ever seen.
Yeah, take it, you fucking banana poika. Take it and shoot yourself in the mouth.
じゃあまずは重さを感じて。
The cold piece of bakelite and gunmetal is surprisingly light. You've held this, an A9 armistice, before. At some point, it probably used to be your choice of firearm.
手に
It
馴染んで
still
おります。
feels comfortable. Like
The fuck are you waiting for, Kuno? Tell him to shoot himself in the mouth.
Kuno is silent. Aggression gathers in the air. The trigger feels delicate and ready to break under your finger. The buckle comes into focus in your sights. You stand with your feet planted firmly in the ground and your left hand supporting your gun arm.
左手添えて。
Why don't you just shoot yourself in your mouth? At least you won't miss.
左目も閉じますか。クーノースに銃を向けるとかいう選択肢もある。返すこともできる。目を閉
Your
じ。
field of view narrows. The branch slowly moves, becoming entirely two-dimensional. The metal buckle glimmers, slick with the falling rain. The corpse slowly rotates.
Look, he's crying. You gonna cry now, fucking faggot?
黙れとか言っても意味ないだろ。お、キム。
The buckle explodes into tiny pieces, coming loose with a whir.
どうよ。
With your hand numb from the recoil, you look at the body slump down. For a moment, the man appears to kneel in front of you, looking straight at you.
まっすぐこちらを見ております。
Trapped
され
within
るがままに、
itself.
事故の中に閉じ込められたままに。
Communism.
共産主義が吊るされた男を。
It takes a millisecond for the association to flash within your cortex. You have no idea where it's coming from. Only then, the rigor in his muscles gives up, and he smashes sideways into the spring mud,
やりま
letting
したよ。
out a horrid stench.
タスクをついに完了したわよ。身柄は確保した。RCM だぜ、ベイビー。これでも笑えるか、このクソガキめ。ガキに構うな。ベイビー。
Aces high.
イェーイ。
You could add an ace's low to it, if you like, by turning your back after the high and waiting for another.
エースローって何ですかね。
The high arrives with a sharp slap. As you turn around, there is a moment of doubt. Chill. It's gonna connect. But then it does, and with furious precision. The lieutenant is not one to leave an ace's low hanging.
エースローを待つ手を放っておくような男ではないのだ。キム。
I knew these guys were
Kuno cracks with laughter. Sounds like someone strangling a seagull. It's clear.
I knew they suck each other off.
We will perform a field autopsy and
次は
determine the cause
現
of
場
death.
検視を行
But
い、
before-
死因を特定する。
Excuse
でも
me.
その前に、
Slumped on the ground like that has not improved the way the corpse smells. The fall seems to have
なるほ
released
ど。
something deep inside it.
出ちゃったものもある。
It looks like I feel like taking a break from the stench. I'm sorry to interrupt the jubilations here. Just a little breather before we do the autopsy. Yes, the 4 phases of a murder scene. 1. Investigation of the scene. I can't say I'm satisfied with that part yet. I still want to know what's in that trash container. 2. Initial examination of the victim. We were pretty good in our efforts, and the autopsy will provide another chance. 3. Field autopsy. This will not be pleasant or easy, and it will have to be performed on the scene.
ここでやんなきゃいけないらしい。
The fuck are they on about?
Cops are gonna cut his shit up next.
4 and final, transport of the coroner's case to the district morgue. I'll do that. God, this stinks.
医者呼ばなくていいの？
No, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain.
全
From
部やる
crime
んだ。
scene to autopsy to cleanup, we do it all.
あーね、刑事って気分になってきたかも。
Your station would not have assigned you the case otherwise. This case is important.
インポータント。
In the meantime, we should try to interview Evrard Clare, the leader of the union. Harbor property was clearly
イ
used in
ブ
the
ラート
hanging.
クリアに引っ
The
込みをし
harbor
て
just
みよ
east
う。
of here.
この吊るし
Getting
には
in
明らか
might
に
prove a
港の備
challenge,
品が
though.
使われていたから。
Or we could ask around for the representative of the
物
logistics
流会社
company.
の代
My
表者につ
initial
いて尋
information
ねて
says
回
the
るの
Wild
も
Pines
い
have
いだろ
sent some sort of strike
う。ワイルド
negotiator
パイ
to
ンズ
wrangle
が
control back
イブ
from
ラート
Evrard.
から港の主導権を取り戻すためにストライキの交渉人とやらを派遣したらしい。
You could ask the gardener for directions.
庭師にガイドを頼んでみたらどうだ？
Yes. And those were the interviewees. Let's go.
Let's go.
The rotting man lie. The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Fuck does Kuno care?
食うのはどうでもいい。少年はあなたと向き合う。この子供に何が起こっているのかを把握する。そんなことができますか？
Right, pig. This is where Kuno plays with his little wooden choo-choo. Fuck do you want with it?
エタナイトを敷き詰めた板がある。
That's just
So
some
no.
shit roofing gimps left behind. Lazy dinks.
へえ。
Dunno. Kiptas gardener used to work there. Yeah, that's what Kuno said. She couldn't handle the heat, so she took off. Kuno can take it. Shit's nothing to Kuno. Look, Kuno doesn't explain shit. Kuno just says shit. No, it's not fucking
はし
Kuno's.
ごも食う
It's
のもじゃ
ancient.
ない。
Look at it.
He thinks you're fucking fool, Kuno. He says you climb the ladder up to your magic treehouse.
Get the fuck out of here, pig. Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit.
質問あるかな？
Yeah? The kingdom of Kuno? The fuck do you want with it? Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit. Shitload, pig. What's your question?
Don't tell the pig shit, Kuno.
This is where you quickly ask him questions.
本物の
Real
刑事
cop
の質問をしろ。
questions. Like a
機
cop.
体のアーマーの残りはどこに行った？こいつが誰か知ってるか？あれがどうやってあそこに吊るされたか知ってるか？怪しいやつ見なかった？
Just a couple of pigs sniffing around in the dirt. That seems
2
pretty
匹の
fucking
豚が泥
suspicious
の
to
中を
Kuno.
嗅ぎ回っているだけだ。食うのにはめちゃくそ怪しく見えるけどな。
Yeah, you tell the faggoty, Kuno.
Kuno doesn't give a shit about the armor. Kuno's fuck gimp's got one big thing wrong with him. Look at him. Fucking growth hormone shit. He's a giant. The armor's too big for any man. Kuno doesn't give a shit about that freak armor. Kuno threw that shit away.
Oh, come on. He's just pretending that he doesn't care because he's too small.
Kuno tried to get the helmet on. It was too big. Kuno kicked that shit in the sea, rugby style. That shit means nothing to Kuno. Yeah, that shit means nothing to Kuno. Kuno doesn't give a shit about material shit. Kuno's a fucking monk. You wanna fuck on someone about that armor? Go fuck the mustached union fuck. The jolly troubadour shit at the gate.
アーマーの文句は、ゲートの近くにいる銀融詩人みたいなやつに
Yeah, cock and boot.
お問
You
い合
know
わ
that
せ。
jolly union cow fucker? Came around talking about cows or some shit? Came around pretending like he cares about cows?
He means Manana, the laid-back striker at the gates.
マニャーナって誰？
Yeah, he's the one you want to talk to. He's fucking crazy about that armor shit. Coming here pretending like he likes cows. Trying to catch a peep at Kuno's armor. Kuno's fuck gimp. Kuno uses the fuck gimp for target practice.
He could have just said he doesn't know.
Yeah, it's fucking okay. Gotta have a gimp for rock practice.
Don't ask the pigs for permission, Kuno. Don't ask the pigs for shit.
You're testing Kuno's patience here.
Get lost.
OK。
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Advanced race theory.
高等人種理論。
Everything is calm in the eye
人
of
種
the
の
race
嵐
storm.
の目の中
Your
の
mind
全
is
て
lucid
平
and
穏だ。
bright. The
思考が明
mind-bending
快になり頭が冴
phylogenetics
える。
prepare
難
more
解な
distant
系統
and to be
発生
fair,
学
a
はおぼ
little
ろげになる。
ridiculous.
正確
The
に言え
great
ば、
race
少々
mystery
滑稽
is
に思え
cleared
る
up.
ようになる。
All that's left
大
to
いなる
do
人種
is
の謎は解け
verbalize
た。
your
あとは
thoughts.
工芸、
Go
言
and talk
葉
to
で
Measurehead about your
表現するだ
newfound
けだ。この
insights.
新たな洞察をメジャーヘッドに伝えろ。どういうことなんだろう。全部アンロックだ。タバコ全然ないんだけど。レベルアップ。ほえー。そんなことができるのですか。これしかないんだけど。じゃあどっか行くか。こってどうやって行く？こうやって破壊できる。
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite. It's nothing. Someone just left some roofing material slanted against an old shack.
なんでもないのか。視覚にスキルポイントを振ればこのホワイトスキルチェックに挑戦できる。視覚に振ることはどうすればできるんですか？
This trash container is locked. The sliding lid is just a trash. Your fingers start to itch just looking at that padlock.
We could try using a pry bar, the one you took from my mom.
Did someone say pry bar? Pry bar, pry bar. Your palms
Bar.
yearn its cold touch to grasp it once more.
We might want to ask for a key from the manager of the Whirling in Rags. He probably has one. And he...
Ask the manager.
ワーリング・イン・
Bullshit.
ラグズの
Go
店
straight
長。
for the pry bar and pry this baby wide open.
なんか何かわからないがどっかの店に行けばいいということですかね。
It's raining again.
また雨が降ってきた。
It was
ね
clear just an hour ago.
道。
Since the street signs messed up?
ワイルド
What do you
バ
need?
インズの代表者に会うには
Wild Pines? You mean the company woman?
Yes, a representative of the harbor. She should have set up operations nearby.
Oh, that must be the woman on the giant boat. There's one docked on the pier. It arrived a couple of weeks ago. It's very hard to miss.
橋
No problem.
She's very well composed. Back straight.
橋ってどこっすか？噴水、水出てない。なんか小屋家なんだこれもらっとくか。ロイの質屋。え、うわ人がいる。なんかの機械。胸像。映写機。
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags. Why? What's this? A headless man riding a horse? A headless man wearing futuristic tracksuit trousers that say found.
Oh, that's the headless phone rider.
だよな。
There's been a lot of interest in that particular figurine.
I've heard about it. I've heard the headless phone rider rides a headless bull.
Yes, there are several competing versions of the story, but I believe this figurine is a more canonical representation. The headless phone rider. It's an urban legend. 50 cents. Bargain priced. I'll
Bargain
throw in the
price.
tiny cap too. I think he's looking for it, or something. That part of the story has many interpretations.
This set of soldiers isn't meant.
You're probably talking about... I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could... Okay. I don't like either set too much, to be honest.
Wow, a very large red t-shirt with an impressive print stands out
T
from the other
シャツ
garb.
どれどれ
Oh yeah, the print depicts a muscled man striding toward you, a giant sword in each hand, encircled by burnt, smells like worn cotton, and a little old sweat there. Worn cotton with a side of flea market or...
Sniffing is okay. But please don't try anything on.
匂い嗅いでもいいけど、試
Can't
着
have
は
you leaving
NG。
your photon emissions in the fabric of things you're not going to buy.
フォロー感謝です。Thank you。ね。
Hell yeah, man. I don't usually carry printed
完璧
tees,
な手
but
本
this
みたい
one
な
was
T シャツ
just
か。
pure exemplar.
俺も大ファンだぜ。
I wouldn't go so far as to say that I'm a fan. Most people don't think that the man from Yelmdale really existed. But they're 2 real.
That's dirt cheap.
But why? I sympathize, I do. But this is a for-profit enterprise.
この T シャツを着ることで、何これ、おかんをゲットできるの？おかんをゲットする意味ってある？いや、わからねえ。あと、肉体装置ってなんだ？
A typical Martinez streetlight sits among assorted floor and table lamps.
700 real.
これ
A
はお
bargain,
買い
I
得。
A bargain? No, it's
Bargain?
not. He's trying to sweet talk you into buying track.
The light has undergone well, there are the cost of removal, and the most important transformation is the light.
なんかいろいろ見たけど、今はいいか。何探したっけ？人？もらっとくか。指なし手袋。あ、いいじゃん。着ようよ、手袋。手袋着るっていうのか。これなんだ？で、水曜日の7時15分まで水門利用不可。おじさんもいるし、なんかもあるよ。
A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control. This panel usually closes the water lock, turning it into a bridge that lets you pull the lever. All nothing happens. A spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the water lock to get across the canal. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning?
水曜の朝に再稼働と書かれた看板があっちになかったか？
G'day to you, officers.
調子はどうだい？どうなんだろう？
A burly man hangs out by the water lock, carving up. His posture is relaxed. Despite his powerful build and a knife in his hand, this man resorts.
My friend Barry the Butcher is stuck on the other side of the
肉屋の
wall
バ
lock.
リーが水門のあ
I'm
っち
keeping him
側で足
company
止めを食らっち
and
まった。
eating this
あら。
salami.
From the corner of your eye, you see a man in a yellow shirt and
Very good stuff. Anything I can do for you, officer? I wasn't here to witness it, but too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything around here. Especially a water lock. The rest of the coast is closed off. Sure thing.
サラミくれんの？いい人じゃん。
it is salty, it is savory, it is chewy. The
通い
hangover
のおかげで
only
とに
makes
か
the
くうまく感じ
salami.
る。
Want
ハ
some
ッピ
too,
ーじゃん。
officer?
Why not?
キムももらっとるよ。嬉しいね。
Well, there's the fishing village, and yeah, not really much else. Just it's supposed to operate the water lock, but as noted, it's all safety measure. Turns out the panel needs a spec. It'll be restarted on Wednesday morning. You want to do the honors when the time comes? Great. Just drop in on Wednesday if you want to see the
水
water
曜
lock
日
at
に
work.
来たらやらせ
They
てく
say
れ
the
るって。
canal crew will be here at 7:15.
The coast part of the map is inaccessible until the third day.
ではこれにて。
The worn and beaten wooden plank.
We can sit on benches after we.
You can revisit the bench if you ever need to
大
pass the
警報が
time when
同行してい
Lieutenant
ない時
Kitsuragi
に
is gone.
ベンチで時間を進められる。桟橋の方に人がいるとか言われた気がするんだけど、動けない動けない。どこかわからない。
old monument stands in the
Monumento.
middle of the traffic island.
何です
Point.
か？
A silver plaque on the statue's pedestal reads, I am Philip III, the Squanderer, the greatest of the Philippian kings of Revachol. So as you look up, you notice something about the statue. There are some odd indentations on the king's... What did he do? You have no idea what you... High above you, the king stands. Something with great kinetic energy.
Okay, I can't see it, but I take your word for it. Well, Martinez is riddled with bullet holes. This place saw a lot of action during the revolution. But the statue is recently renovated, so maybe a joke? Target practice or political
関係あるんじゃないか、殺人事件に
If we
は。
connect every bullet hole in Martinez to the murder, we'll get an overwhelming amount of loose... I've made a note. Don't hold your breath.
The king stands high above you, surveying the bed.
何でもメモしてくれるわ。なんかお金その辺に割と落ちてる。
The small, wrinkled woman does not greet you. She nods along to something on her radio. A photograph is clutched in her hands, and there is a warm smile on her face.
Wait. She's just a distracted old woman. Better to leave her alone.
なんで？
Why? I just told you why.
あ、はい、すいません。表示でヒューマノックスと書かれている。動けない。動けないよ。トラックの間にタバコ？どこ？トラック？おい、どこ？トラックってどこ？タバコ欲しい。どれ？どれがトラックだ？
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox.
これじゃない。トラック？この辺で言ってたから。この辺から見える。っていうか暗くね。孤独な水鳥が 海を見渡している。何この壁。
This is a wall on the side of an
集合
apartment
住
building.
宅の側壁。不可能。壁見る意味なし。少女が少女これか。
Hey, up here, Piggo. The streets will flow red once more. A great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C. And here I was trying to be polite. Just can't win with you pigs.
壁をどうするつもりですか？
Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful
あー、
mural.
アーティスト
And
か。
I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words. Yeah? Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of
何を見ているん
approval.
ですか？
The lieutenant is desperately searching for a handkerchief.
あ、そんなところに人が。
Hatred, disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish. The woman on the boat does not notice her stick.
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
Yes, we should go talk to her. She's a
あ、こ
professional
の人に話
negotiator,
聞こうと
though.
してたんだ。
I have the feeling she will be very cooperative while telling us nothing. You should take the lead. Ask her unexpected questions, you know? Do your thing. Don't be afraid to get a bit wacky. Throwing her off is our best bet.
Good idea, piggies. Run along now. Fuck her shit up good. Impound. I ain't no snitch, pigstein. Go for.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko.
それじゃあ、
Watch your back, ungulate. You've got eyes on you.
見張られてるらしいが。行くべき場所
A
が
sturdy
分かって
metal
ない。
door guards the southwest entrance to the. The door rattles against your knuckles, but there's no response. The door rattles again.
Stop banging on the door. I'm not letting any more stress. Doesn't matter who I
From within comes the faint.
am. The police? Everyone knows the police don't come round here. No. Go check the backyard door. Maybe.
ゴミを拾って。あ、すいません。
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her
Good afternoon, officers.
Good afternoon.
I'm Joyce. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
ジョイス L は何の略だ？ RCM ってのは何だ？どうして俺たちのことが分かった？握手しよう。
I'm glad to see you here.
I'm glad to see you.
like steel. There is strength there. If she wanted, she could sink her nails deep into your skin.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, Madame. My colleague will take the lead on this
今回の
interview.
聞き込みは
I
私
should
の
let
同
you
僚
know
の
that
指
he is
導で
recovering
進
from
めて
an
まいります。
unusual
ただ、
medical
彼が現
episode.
在大変珍しい病を患っていることは最初に
But
申し
I
上げ
can
ておき
assure
ます。
you of his
簡単に治
ultimate
るものではな
competency.
く、依然治療中の身ではありますが、彼の類いまれな能力についてはこの私が保証します。
It happens quicker than a shooting star. But did the lieutenant just wink at you?
お、ウィンクされてる。どうしたどうした
How interesting.
仲良き。
I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild
全
Pines
面
Group.
的にそちらの味方だと思っていただいて結構よ。マジあんたボートに乗ってるな。そうだね。ワイルドパインズについて教えてくれ。何をやっている会社ですか？今回のストライキについてどんなことを知っていますか？リンチ事件についてどんなことを知ってますか？タトゥーについて何か知りませんか？
Is what you want to say, but it isn't that easy. Look at that lady. Take a gander. Squint your eyes, but why yes, tucked away under that sturdy green raincoat, almost rustic in its simplicity, a silk shirt and matching scarf around her gentle throat, while dull orange pearls hang from her earlobes, red from the cold. Her light green eyes scan you, full of knowledge and worry. Well, now look at you, you misery-clad simian. Barely you're poor, poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too.
なんで金をせびれないんですか、金持ちに。恥ずかしい。恥ずかしい恥ずかしいなんて思わないぞ。この感覚はなんだ。今まで感じたことのないものだ。俺は立派な労働者だ。人を食い物にしているようなクズから少しくらい金を巻き上げたからって何を恥じる必要がある？当然だ。そんな考えが一瞬でも頭をよぎったことが恥ずかしい。こいつは女で俺は男だぞ。そうだな。いい加減てめえの生活費くらいてめえで稼がなきゃな。なんで恥ずかしいですか？そうか？
Oh, but you are. Too ashamed to ask this person for money.
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to
28% の
ask.
確率ででももらえるよ。もうちょっと仲を深めてからもらおうか。
Why, yes, I am. Good.
あ、もうボートの話はいいか。会社の話。
I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. The Pines' core competency is logistics, and that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms. I'm not at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
A billion?
100億単位だと ?100 億ってのは一体なんだ？すげえ。たったそれっぽっちか？俺にとっては何の意味もない数字だ。借金の額なんか到底及ばない数字だな。確かにね。すげえ。
20 billion is a large number, but the conglomerate employs a conglomerate the size of the Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops, they started as an exploration and cargo fleet. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it. You mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo? There are no minor cogs in the system. Each terminal must be accounted for, lest the entire system break. Every hiccup in such a system means thousands lose their jobs, the world over. I'm here to assure that
上
doesn't
がってい
happen.
るぞ。やっぱ話を聞いて仲良くなるほど恵んでもらえるので。今回のストライキについては
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade
全てを知
secrets.
っているのか？
I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago after that awful lynching
あの
took
恐ろし
place.
いリンチ事件があった後のことよ。最近だ。
Wait, she just admitted that the lynching
リン
and
チと
the
ストライ
strike
キがつながっていることを認めたぞ。確かに。
Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter 20 racist
俺の
behemoth
人種論
blocking
の
the
師である
gates.
ジャン・リュック氏のことか。彼は偉大な指導者であり、徳の高い人物だ。つまりストライキとリンチはつながっているということか。これ直接的すぎ？まあいいか。
Yes, I believe there is a connection, but that's a subject for
また後で
later.
話しましょう。
Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
もしかしてこれってが黄色がマックスになったら取得できるみたいなことなのか。
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive. The scabs? You mean the huddled masses of jamrod?
Don't let her answer it herself.
この女一人で話を進めさせるな。いや、キャーブたちの話をしてる。
If these strike breakers were organized by Wild Pines or its affiliates, then it would be a company secret. I could not share it with you. Not yet, at least.
ああ、なんか教えてもらえないらしい。じゃあ、
There are leaflets everywhere and banners. What, every worker, a member of the board. Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the wild... Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
王になれるの王だけだ。
That may well be. It's not up to me to decide who is king, but as negotiations go, I'm not sure. Naturally, and now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirl...
Excuse me, from whom did you hear
リン
about
チ
this
があったと
lynching?
いう話はどなたから聞いたのでしょうか。確かに。
I first heard it from the boyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, call me mañana.
名前からしても働くことに対する嫌悪感を表しているような人だ。すごいこと言うね。
This checks out.
嘘は言ってないな。じゃあ、クレア氏は何？ Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first. Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
Yahoo!
If you were to prick him with something sharp, you could see it oozing out. A knife, maybe? No, a rapier.
レイピアの一本でも持ってすぐに奴の元に駆けつけたいって感じだな。 そんなにやばいやつなのか？そこまで悪くなれるやつもいないだろう。そんなにやばい人なんですか？
He is the most corrupt individual
ど
I
んな
have
ゲー
ever
ムなんで
seen,
すか？
and I deal
こ
with
れは
men like
ね
him for a
どんな
living.
ゲームかわ
If
から
there
な
is
いのですが
anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother,
私
Edgar.
元主人公は記憶喪失でもう身分の証明書も銃もなくしてしまった警官らしいということは分かっていて、記憶をなくしてしまったのでもう自分ちも何も分かんなくて、
Yes, Edgar looks
同僚とい
exactly
うか
like his brother,
同じ警
except
察
for
の
that
人に電話
lazy
しても
eye.
バカにさ
He
れ
also
るだ
talks
けでね、
exactly like Evrard does, and
まあ
when
頑
one's
張れよ
term
み
is
たいな感じ
foreman
の
is
ことを
up,
言われ
the
て、
other takes over.
このメガネの相棒のキムさんと一緒に記憶喪失なのに事件を解決するために
It's
な
how
ん
they
かその辺の
circumvent
人
the
に
term
聞き
limits,
込
you
みをし
see,
て回
with
っ
a
てるって
funny
いう
little switcheroo.
なんかそんな
While in
感じ。
office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
自分のこともわからないのになんか事件について聞いて回ってるらしい。
The Debarders Union was once a perfectly
あと
normal
ついでに
institution.
財布もなくして
20 years
て、
ago, anyway.
ホテル
It
に
must
泊まった
not
の
have
に
been
財布な
easy
く
to
してて
establish under the
お
emergency
金
act,
払えないか
but
ら
they
その
did
辺
it.
で
I
小
can
銭を
respect
拾
that.
ったりしてる。
Organized labor at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
A mob. The Debarders are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Evrart and his brother.
記憶喪失だから自分探しの旅に出たって感じですか？いや、もうね、自分探しの旅に出るとかいう
If I may
話
ask,
ではなく、もう
I'm
起
a
きた瞬
curious
間
and
記憶喪
talkative
失だった。
person, you see. Would you say the Debarders
起
Union
きた瞬間
is...
記憶喪失で何も覚えてないのに、なんかホテルに泊まってたから金払えって言われたり、仕事しろって言われたりしてる。でも何もわからないから、とりあえず手当たり次第に引いて回ってる。自分探しのね、旅とか言ってる余裕もないよ。
Thank you for being candid. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the wolf always hungers.
常識すら忘れた感じか。何もわかりません。なんか着てる服もボロボロだし、途中まで靴1個しか履いてなかったし、片足しか。
Mr. Clare told him to... how did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see. Yes. Extremely. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the Union.
選挙で何らかの事件があったと言ってたが、あれはそんなこと言ってましたか？
I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the
よくぞ聞
previous
いてくれたわ
foreman
ね。
of the
聞いて
Union.
ほしかったんですか？
She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore, or coming to work. Ever.
仕事にももう二
End
度
of
と行かない。
story.
仕事とかね。
This forewoman, her name?
女ボスの名前は君の悪い話だな。そういうこともある。確かにそういうこともある。いや、そんなことを言われてもだよね。あ、脅迫をされたんじゃない？
Indeed. The company suspects foul play, but there's nothing they could do. It was a union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
なんか気をつけた方がいいら
Thank
しい
you。for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
お心遣いありがとうございます。我々のことなら心配はいりません。話題を変えよう。金をくれ。
How else can I help?
42% で金がもらえるんだけど。
Voila, you're doing it.
イエーイ。
Really put your back into it.
しっか
Yell
り
it
気合を
from
入
the
れて
top of
叫べ
your
よ。そ
lungs.
して心の限りに叫べ。あんた金を持ってそうだな。いくらか恵んでくれないか。マダム、少しばかり金を恵んでいただけないだろうか。貧乏なんだ、助けてくれ。生きていくための金が欲しい。金。金。
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. The wind is a bit strong. Could you repeat that? How much money? That's a good sum. Not too small, not fantastically large.
ちょうどいい金額だよ。
She removes a few notes and
や
hands
っ
them
た。
to you. The paper is cold and oily to the touch.
金持ちだから
There
金
must
くれるん
be
だけど。
about 200 real in that zip bag. Maybe a little.
So, I hope I didn't
Sate.
just bribe you, officer. It may not be
今のがあ
technically
なたへの賄賂
illegal
に当た
under
ら
the
ないといいのだけ
Emergency
ど、
Act, but
緊
still.
急事態法によって違法な行為と定められているわけではないけど念のため。賄賂じゃない、賄賂じゃない。本当に困ってるだけだから。俺はまだこの金という概念を理解しきれていない。あんたはそんなに俺に手を差し伸べてくれただけさ。そういうことだ。
You're right, ma'am, that donations are permitted under the Emergency Act, and seemly as it may be, as long as they are properly logged with the precinct.
交渉にしてはあんまりすぎ。でも必死さが伝わったと思う。
Which he most certainly will do. Now, how else can I help the RCM today, besides supplementing its salaries?
給与の補填以外のことだと嬉しいのだけど、リンチ事件の話も聞いと
Quite
こ
a
うか
few
な。
things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have
重
to
要
ask
な
for your
企業
names
秘
and
密が
badge
含まれ
numbers.
る。雇用主の利益を考慮してあなた方のお名前と身分証の番号を確認させてもらう必要がある。身分証は持ってないよ。
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves.
ワ
I
イ持っ
am
てないだ
Lieutenant
ろう。
Kitsuragi from Precinct 57.
キムは持ってるけど
And
さ。
this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
ありがとうね、キム。
How curious. Why is that,
ワイの
detective?
分まで言い訳してくれて。それはどうして刑事さん。
I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge
女の不
during
安は
the
どんどん
course
増
of
してい
this
るようだ。
episode?
その病を発症した際に身分証をなくしたということ？そうだね。発症したと気づいた時にはもう失っていたという感じで、発症したと同時になくしたわけではないと思うのだけど。
I can't hear you, darling. Speak up, please.
耳遠いな、この人。
Oh dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I do believe you, naive as that may sound.
私はあなたの
I
話を
simply
信
can't
じる。
imagine what you
そん
gain
な
by
病状をわざわざ偽
faking
装したところ
such
で
a
あなたには
condition.
何の得もないはずだから。正直者だから信じてもらえてます。
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
キムも頑張ってる。
Of course, I sympathize. But I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
記憶喪失であることに同情されているから可能性がある。再挑戦はできない。どう交渉してこの難局を乗り切ったものか。
Of course.
もうちょい
But
探す
before
か。
we do, the situation is extremely volatile. The sooner we can speak about this lynching business, the better for all of us.
でもそんな早ければ早いほど我々全員の利益になるとか言いながら身分証が必要とか言われてどこにあるか知らないし、
That's the man who was killed.
会社警察のみん
I'm
なに言っ
afraid
て
this
も
is a discussion
あいつ
for
身
once
分
we've
証な
cleared
んか
the
したらし
lynching
いよ
question.
ドワハハハって言われるだけで何もしてもらえないんだけど。
Better not tie the fourth day to the bat's day on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
これ以外のことで何かお力になれることはある？ あんた頭が良さそうだな。実は、俺たちのいるこの現実世界の真実について教えてくれる人間を探しているんだ。
This reality.
例の奇病に関わることだ。現実世界で使われている最も基本的な言葉の意味すら思い出せない。まあそうなんだよね。
Ah, yes. The
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly well.
We may be here a while then. Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can.
Oh.
All right, we're in. I
こ
know
こから
these
が本
all
番だ。
look good.
どれも面白そうに見えるのはわかるが、
But begin with the first,
とりあえず一番上から始めるんだ。行くぞ。ここはどこだ？
We're in Martinez, baby.
Baby?
A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed. Aren't we all? Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour, north of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they
これ
say.
どうでもいいことらしい。
Forgotten
覚え
even.
なくてもいいのか。
Shelled to smithereens during the revolution. It has its charms, just
お
not
ー、
this time
モ
of
ラ
year.
さん元気ですか？あ、元気です。マルティネーズのことをもっと教えてくれ。海と言ったな。これはなんていう海なんだ？よし、ここでマルティネーズのことは分かった。レバショールとかいうのはなんだ？なんか別の、これよりもさらに根本的な現実世界の側面について教えてくれ。ああ、もっとね、根本的なね。海のことも聞こうか
It's
な。
not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. Yes, we're on an island in an ocean, the world's largest body of water, the Insulindic. Caillou.
ここは
Imagine a pebble.
海の
A
上に
smoothed over pebble
浮かぶ
amidst a great
島
blue sea.
海遊。
Misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the river Esperance. We're in the delta of this river on the 6th branch, the Martinez distributary.
It is clear this
この
pebble
小石が
is of
彼女に
enormous
とって
value
何
to
者に
her.
も代え難い価値を持つことは確かなようだ。小石？
I'm not a good ambassador.
私も
I've
観
only
光
been
大
here
使を
once
務められるほど
before,
詳しいわけじゃない。す
as
い
a
ません。
teenager. This place used to be a province, a workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its work. The Reeds are the real star of the show here now. The Revachol, the great kind.
レバショールのどういうところが偉大なんですか？
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries. The nations of the Occident, or
何で
migrant
も答え
workers
てくれん
from
な、この人。
Seminine
めっ
and
ちゃいい人じゃん。
Il-Marat, depending on your creed. In the DeLorean century, 380 years ago. They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest. By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men. We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million
ここにはお
people
金が集まる
in
ら
the
しい。
middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue.
じゃあ俺たちは重要な役割を担う場所のどうでもいい地域にいるのか？じゃあ俺たちは実質世界の中心にいるってことか？じゃあ俺たちは僻地にいるってことなのか？基本的に何者でもないと。
I think it's fair to say so.
A collection of tall ghosts behind the water.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world.
Silence. The water, the light.
この水面も
It's as
光
though
も
you're seeing it for
な
the
ぜか今初め
first.
て見たような気がしてしまいますな。ですな。
There is no recognition. only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it. She observes your eyes scanning the horizon. Then this is one thought you need to complete. Where are
こ
you?
こはどこなのか。これはあなた様が答えを見つけるべき疑問の一つです。
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about
世
a
界の中心で
lowdown.
心から力強く金と叫んだハトコちゃん。そうですね。やっぱ必死であることを分かってもらえたからお金を恵んでもらえたということで
This
す
has
よ
been
ね。
informative. Thank you, ma'am.
宿代払え
I'm
るんじゃ
sure
な
my
いかな
memory
さっきもら
impaired
ったお
partner
金で。
has many more questions to ask about even more fundamental aspects of reality. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Ma'am,
めっ
Monsieur
ちゃ
will
吹い
be
てるじゃ
here
ん。
later
寒すぎだろ。
tomorrow.
Absolutely. My commitment here is long term.
そうだな、キツラギ警部補。この続きはまた後で聞きに来ることにする。そうだ
It's
ね。
better not to eat all your candy at once.
もらったお菓子は少しずつ食べた方が楽しみが長引くのと同じだ。
Indeed. I'm always at your service. These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born for the big...
The smile of a predator. No doubt what she's got in mind.
All men are predators, dear. Nothing... The revolution.
Revolution.
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle. The turn of the century revolution? The revolution began in '02 on the east. It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain.
現実
And
世界では
Marzov
ハン
came
セン
along
病
and overthrew the government.
現実世界じゃないのかと言おうとしたけど、確かにゲームは現実世界ではない。
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed by you and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control. Modernity. They developed the marvels of 43 years. Hard to fathom, I know. The 20s saw a decade of urban war. The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere. No, it was a market mirage fueled by cocaine and quantitative easing.
難しい話をさ
The
れている。
40s dispelled it like a cold
記憶
splash,
喪失だか
an
ら
Eastern
何も入
wide
ってこ
hangover,
ん。
you might say. And welcome to reality, baby.
Welcome to reality 言ってる私ついに現実に
Good question. What would you have done differently? Then you would have died, most likely.
The cold runs down your spine. She gestures toward the waters. The wind stops. A dog barks. A gunshot.
No, almost certainly. The commune would have forced you. Such was the fate of the undecided. The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, they didn't win so much as survive. We were the last to foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights. The liberals took everything that
リ
wasn't
ベラ
nailed
リ
to
ス
the
トは土
ground.
地と関係のないものは
The
全て手に入れ
coalition
た。一
took
方で
the
連邦
ground.
が手に入れたのは土
The
地。
ocean, the laws, and the people.
それに海、法、人々。
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje,
もう
and
記憶喪
Siola
失だから
Clay.
全部聞か
The
ないとわ
armed
かんない。
center of the world. They landed here and
人間
ended
主
the
義者っ
revolution.
ていうの
It
は
was the
何
moralist
ですか
thing to do. The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They
全てを
believe
現
in
状の
mineral
まま維持
rights
することが正
and
しい
not
と信じ
shooting
ている人
people
たち
in
だ
the
と
head.
彼らは工業系に価値を見出している 人々の頭を打ち抜くことじゃなくてね。
At least not in the same manner and volume as
The rulers of Revachol.
this is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
私たちは実は RCM なので、形式上あなたも倫理主義者ということになる？そうだったのか
？An almost endearingly moralist standpoint. It must be hard to take a moderate approach to head shooting in your line of work.
全部聞いとくか、せっかくだし。
Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people. Oh, and the anarchists too. Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot two. Yes. Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
俺はあの王が大好きだった。知らないんだよね、王のことさ。
I prefer the term risk-averse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen.
これで
It was a wild
聞
time.
いたかな、全部。
They are what they are. Who knows?
頭に入っているかは
An
別とし
afterbloom
て
may yet
聞
come.
くだけ聞いたよね。
Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know? It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin
ビタミン
D
D
in
が
the
不
brain.
足することで起きてるん
Symptoms
だ。
include retrograde amnesia.
あ、おや
It's
すみ
quite
なさ
serious.
い。
You should get yourself checked out.
良き眠りを。
Be my guest.
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
今度ばかりはこの質問を交わせまい。
I am the vilest of the
私は
vile.
卑劣中の卑
A
劣の存
traitor.
在。
A devourer of nations and I am an ultra.
ウルトラリベラルよ。
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking,
ウルトラリベ
revealing
ラル
a。canine. It's sharp.
ひえを助け、十字を切る。リベラルだ。
No, not like me.
あ
I am the nether creature of the forbidden swamp
私と
who
は
pushed
違
the
い
king
ます。
under a shitwagon and betrayed the revolution.
私は地獄の沼底から這い出た悪魔。かっこいい。
Are you liberated enough to offer up your home on a
あな
plate
た
for
は資本という
financial
名の
colonists?
入植者に故郷を差し出せるほど
I think
リベラル思想に染まっているの？
Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself.
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt.
A devil, who being of great charm and guile, sneaketh into the homes of the godly.
Beneath her waterproof raincoat and silk shirt is a body imbibed in numb 12 perfume.
卑劣な
You
悪
are
魔。
suddenly
ゆっくり
and
と
intimately
首を横に
aware
振
of
る。
it.
I'm afraid you'll find that every woman is. When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government,
While a gentle wind sweeps the streets,
I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the coalition.
she realizes her
Then for my daughters, we had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isla down rather than let them have it. Perhaps my intellectual vanity will be my yes. Whatever else I am,
お
I'm
お、
also a mother
これはなんだ
and a wife, a bird, a
その声優の演技はとてもかっこいい
a
です
flightless
ね。
bird of the polar regions.
なんかキャラクターも言ってることもかっこいい。鳥かしら。
Some sort of krill hunter? No, wait. You're an ancient Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games. Ah. This is the pier, or two.
まあね。
A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old
何でも
buildings are
答え
called
てくれるよ
tenements,
こ
you
の人
see.
マジで。
And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old. This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course. Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off.
Splat, splat.
わあ、あんなところから。
You could be wrong.
ここ
But
から
from
見る
here
と
it
あの女
appears
が
as
自
if
分
she's
の
running the
首を
brush
ノ
across
コギリで
her throat
切る動き
in
を
a
しているように
soaring
見える
motion.
な。
Wonderful.
本当にひどい話。
The girl in the old lady rags. Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
ティーン、インフラカルチャー。
Yes, you and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags.
なるほど。
She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture. Young people who dye their hair funny
おかしな
colors
色
and
に
wear
髪を
old
染めたり
people's
老
clothes
人
are
用の
stupid,
服を着る
and their
若い
little
人たちは
rebellion
愚かだ
is
ということよ。
self-defeating. All right. What next?
さて、お次は何？何でも答えてくれるよ、本当に。すごいよ。何か身近なものを思い浮かべる。何か根本に関わる質問をひねり出そうと試みるか。
A strange coldness comes over you. It's on the tip of your tongue. A doubt of sorts. It remains a mystery what you mean by this something.
とりあえず以上。
Glad to have been of assistance. The little
私
that I
程度
know.
の知識でも役に立てたら
Anything else?
嬉しい。他にも何か。もう一旦いいか。
Of course, detective. Take care.
手打っきゃ。だいぶ話し込んだな。でもおかげでいろんなことがあることが分かった。ちょっと中身まではちょっと覚えてない。
A sturdy metal door guards the southwest entrance.
Madame, I assure you, we are real police officers.
There is no reply. Just faint sweeping. The door rattled.
Stop banging on the door. I'm not letting any more strangers inside. No, I already told you.
これ以上知らない人間を中に入れて責任を問われるのはごめんだよ。
Go check the backyard door.
裏庭のドアを見てきたらどうぞ。もしかしたらそっちに誰か。裏庭のドアはどうやって見れるんですか？いっぱいあるわ、ものが。もらっとくか。え、子供？ガキって言いそう。そういうリッチですか。
Apparently,
Pig's come to take me out.
if anything, you're afraid she'll take you out one day.
Don't get fucking clever with me, pig.
こんなとこ早くつらかろう食うの。水巻き用ホース。雪が溶けないと使えない。
So much for a quiet smoke.
え、タバコ？
There There must be another way into the building.
中に入る方法が他にもきっとあるはず。
I knew I should have quit.
なんだこれ。あ、帽子だ。帽子かぶろうかな。どれだ。帽子かぶろうよ。あー、かわいいね。オールイエローコーデ。かわいいかわかんねえ。
You see a young man on a balcony
タバコくだ
nursing
さ
a
いよ、タバ
cigarette.
コ。
His eyes have been following you for a while.
Not looking for any trouble, officer.
なぜ小声なんだ？別に面倒をかけるつもりはないよ。
I don't want to be seen talking to the gendarmerie if that's okay.
It's the god of cigarettes and youth.
こいつはタバコと若さ
Ask
を
him if he's
司る
got
神
anything
だ。
to spare.
余分に持ってないか聞いてみろ。
Apologies, but this is my last one.
The god himself
神
has
はお前に
denied you
施しを与えることを
absolution.
拒否した。今吸ってるやつを投げてよこしてくれないか？
I'm not sure that's a good idea.
やめといた方がいいと思うよ。いいから黙って投げろ、ガキが。お前の言う通りだ。はあ、すいません。
As you wish. Is it really that important?
Like a nervous cat.
All right, but make it quick. Once I finish this cigarette, I have to run.
そこからはワーリング・イン・ラグスの裏庭が一望できそうだな。例の吊るしの件で何か知ってることはないか？名前聞いた方がいいか？
My name? My name is Martin Martinez.
マルタン・マルティネイ。
Martin Martinez. Good local name. Let's go with that.
いかにも地元民という感じの名前だな。それでいこう。
I can tell that you finally got him down. Thank you. It was quite a disturbing sight, even by Martinez standards.
What were you doing last Sunday?
Oh. You already asked me that, didn't you?
前にも同じこと聞かなかった？そうなんですか？
No, not you two. Some more muscular type.
And when did you speak to this more
Last week? I don't know. Look.
You didn't answer the question.
I had a friend over. It was my Sunday friend.
サンデーフレンド。
A Sunday friend.
こいつは興味深いね。
He doesn't reply, gesturing no with his cigarette. Someone hides behind a curtain.
今カーテンの裏に
Those
隠れたや
windows
つ
have
がいる。
eyes,
ここい
and
らの
those
窓の
eyes are
向こうには
watching,
目がある。
spying
お前た
on
ち
you three.
3人を監視している目が。
No.
今度なんてないよ。
Now, if you'll excuse me, I really need to get going.
とどまってもらえるよう説得する。タバコねだったらよくないの？
Time to bring out your secret charm. Tears and begging.
お前の隠れた魅力、涙と物乞いの出番だぞ。こいつの足元で犬のごとく這いつくばり感情的な側面を見せてやれ。任せろよ。この能力でさっき130リアルをゲットしたとこだからな。俺にどうしろと言うんだ。泣きわめいて見せればいいのか。違うよ。行かないでくれ。酒なんか二度と飲まないし、ゴミ出しもちゃんとするし、とにかく置いてかないでくれ。
Trash?
Please don't go. I'll even stop
行か
smoking.
ないでくれ。室内でタバコを吸うのもやめるから。
Listen, I really have to go.
Ah, there it goes.
あ
Wasted. You
ま
would
だ
fetch at
何
least
度
a
か
few
吸え
good
るぐら
drags
いは
out.
残ってるじゃねえか。タバ
Good
コ
luck
が
with the
よ。
investigation.
拾おうよ、それ。拾って、一本にまとめよう。言ってもうたんだが。
He's gone. No point in running.
追いかけても
Tenements
無
like
駄
these
だ
often
よ。
have multiple exits. If he doesn't want to talk to us, then he'll know. He could be a witness. Him or his Sunday friend. There has to be a way of getting inside the building.
桟
Let's
橋
go check
近
out
く
the
のド
door
アを
near the
もう一
pier
度調
again.
べに行こう。
Once we've
どれのことそれって。
A stone, like any other, lying. There's a key beneath it, rusty.
This must be for the front door. Pity it doesn't have the apartment number on it. We'll just have to go in and see.
なんか入れたわ。タバコの吸い殻と電線が詰まったブレーカーボックス。カーテンが動くほんのかすかに誰かがその向こう側から見ている。見られております。なんなのこれ。ただのドア。なんか、植物を育ててる人もおる。28号室。29号室のドア。水を打ったような静けさ。住人は不在。陽気なダンスミュージックに合わせて踊っている。いいな。サングラス、いいね。サングラスかけようよ。つけれない。あ、いけたいけた。あー、おしゃれ。おしゃれだ。いびきか。なぜか怖い。ここから離れよう。怖いいびきが。
Yes?
本物の苔。ヘドロ。それぐらいっすかね。あとはこっちはいけんの？あ、いけるわ。あ、靴あるよ。もらっていいんじゃない？靴じゃない。 壁にごぼう背を描いてる人もいます。
This door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says, It's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is better whip out those cutters. You won't get very far otherwise. No reply. What are you doing? You need to get your tools out, man.
道具、あ、持たないといけないの道具って。チェーンカッターを、じゃあ、右手に。右利きなのかな？
This door has been closed with a padlock. The shackle snaps like a twig, and the
After you, detective.
お先にどうぞ。袋持って。なんか普通に部屋だな。本物のリトグラフがある。アーティスト
A
で。
plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with
リト
impressive
グラフと
sideburns.
か
The
鉄
name
構
on
造
the
なんか
plinth
置いてるよ。
reads Kraz.
He's known as the father of scientific communism, also known as Masovianism. His theories about economic history greatly influenced, some would even say sparked, the anti-centennial revolution.
レボリューション。
The White Star, the photos on the wall. I think we have broken into the apartment of a young communard. How fitting.
若い共産革命者の部屋に入り込んでしまったようだ。そうなんだ。アーティストじゃないの。
The White Star, the photos on the wall. I think we have broken into the apartment of a young communard. How fitting.
銃を持った革命家の写真。ああ、そうかもね。これはこれちゃんとした服じゃない？もらっとけ、もらっとけ。以上かな。
You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging the furniture. The number.
袋って今いらない？
You hear someone. The walking stops abruptly. A poor communard from the looks of it. The room is barely.
Do I have to open the door? Do you have a warrant? I'm not.
Let's go. We don't have a reason to.
ドアは鍵がかかってあ、そうなんだ。みんな南京錠ってわけじゃないんだ。鍵といえども。はがき。
Give me a moment. The cold never does any good for my bronch.
This woman's health is failing her. There's not much to do. Not it.
Go ahead then. What do you want to know, policeman?
何が知りたいんだい？あなたは？
I'm no one.
誰でもないです。
If you can call
ただ
it
のババア。
living. It's barely bigger than a closet. But I don't complain, no.
And all she gets, too. The coastal wind beats down hard on the cold room door outside. Splash.
Ask away, policeman.
どんどん聞きな。気前のいいババア。
No one lives there. It's been empty for months. Impossible. I would know if someone had moved in there.
じゃあ怖い話かこれ。
Maybe it's those countercultural people again. Breaking into a house like it's a public space. You're a policeman. Be good and take a look, will you? Great. Young people. They're worse than rats. You know, always littering the hallway. Oh, that one is a scientist, a future scholar. I think he studies astrology at the community college.
先生術の
Education's
勉強
good.
をしてる。
I always
へ
tell
ー
them to study. Something to do with all those stars around his door. He asked me to leave his drawings up on... That's what I said.
The lieutenant shakes his head, as though to say,
The artiste? Nothing I can do about her, I'm afraid. She leaves an old lady to her business.
she mumbles some kind of a response, then hacks something
マ
into
ルタ
her
ン・マル
handkerchief.
ティネーズを知っているかい？
Oh, you'll find plenty of Martins here. Don't you worry.
ここにゃマルタン・マルティネーズだらけさ。きっと会えるよ。違う、そうじゃない。マルタン・マルティネーズというのが本名の人物を探しているんだ。
Pea-brain. Someone played a trick on you. Martin Martinez is a name for
Oh, nah.
anyone who comes from Martinez, like Tim Jamrock or Raoul Ravachol.
Oops, you really didn't get the
お
joke.
前にはあれが冗談だとわからんかったか。
I thought it was obvious. Anyway, officer, we don't have the witness's
キム
name.
はあなたの気分を害する前に口をつぐむ。とにかく、目撃者の名前は今のところ不明ということだ。そんなんだって記憶喪失なんだから、そんな、なんか、定番ジョークみたいなの知ってるわけないじゃん。
Yes, yes. I know who you mean. The scrawny boy who's always smoking like the devil, right?
Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear a radio tuned to a talk show and someone taking a shower.
What's he in trouble for?
殺人で指名手配されている。違うね。
Talk?
笑ってる時に咳すんの結構ね、苦しいからね。
He lives upstairs in room 28. Go to the balcony. It's one of those doors there. He's usually home in the evening.
Thank you. We should go check out his apartment on the balcony. See if he's home.
彼の部屋、28号室とか言ってたよね。どうも。マルティネーズ不動産協会により差し押さえ済み。なんか差し押さえられまくってる。わあ、こんなでかい落書きをしてアーティストだね。なんか外に人いたけど。
Ooh, the piggies have learned how
この
to saunter
人じゃ
up
ん。
staircases. I didn't think you could do that with hooves. But here you are. Yeah, I can see that. Cool.
That smell coming from her paint bucket. It's not paint. It's
Red dyed heavy fuel oil intended for exclusive use in government vehicles, to be precise.
What did you think I was using? Aquarels? Sucked it out of a cop's fuel tank myself. Back in Jamrock. Or what? You'll push me off this ledge and pry the bucket from my dead hands?
The lieutenant is desperately hatred. The woman on the
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her. On a first name basis with her, are we? Piggy's moving up in the world. Pig's not half as dumb as he looks.
壁をどう
Can't
す
you
るつもりなん
tell?
ですか？
I haven't really started it yet. And wait, this place is severely lacking in havoc. Not even the occasional trash can fire to break up the tedium.
アーティストだ
I
ね。
thought I'd mix it up, you know, summon the forces of crime. Have you ever tried your hand at... We rarely see pigs round here, though. Just, yeah?
Let's be realistic. What are you going?
You heard your part.
I don't condone the idea of using physical force on her.
Like, タバコないの？あ、金。中には入れない。じゃあここ入る。ジーンズ？服じゃん。どっちがおしゃれだろうな。オールイエローコーデとジーンズ、どっちがおしゃれ？まあちょっとカジュアルに行くか。
The pockets of these new jeans are
この
perfect for
新しい
sticking
ジー
your
ンズの
hand
ポケッ
into.
トはまさに手を突っ込むためにあるようなものだな。クールに見えるし、冷静沈着な雰囲気が出せる。
Your fingers
い
brush
いコー
against
デかも
something
ね。
soft yet crinkly. Hey, it's a chewing gum wrapper. It reminds you of the
ガムも
fruity
ついてる。
juice
お
of
得すぎ。
apricots. You should not familiar in a good way, you might say.
格子の下でカサカサと無数の小さな足音がするネズミがいます。こんなもんかな。28号室はどうやって行くの？東の空に栗色の光骸が輝いている。なんかかっこいいな。街に夜が訪れようとしている。もう暗いよ。ここはどうやって行くんだ？
This door is made of metal and appears to be number 28. This is where the cleaning lady
この
said
部屋
the
に住んでる
smoker
の？
on
向
the
こう行かなくていい
balcony
んだ。
Let's see if anyone's home.
No one answers.
Looks like the young man we are looking for isn't home. I
留
think
守
our
なの？
best chance to catch
でも
him
今めっ
is
ちゃ
in
夜
the
だけどね。
We should return tomorrow after we
明
have
日日
finished
中
with
の仕
our
事を
day's
終えて
work.
からまた
How
訪ね
about
てみる。
9 p.m.?
9時で大丈
Sound
夫か
good?
な？ OK。
Tomorrow, 9 p.m. right here.
Tomorrow,
Apartment
9
number
p.m.
28. Good, let's go.
Damn. Turns out it's quite tricky finding someone in a big apartment building. Don't worry. You'll get him.
Don't worry.
Remember, tomorrow, he's probably gone for today.
今日はもう戻らないんだ。OK。 てって出るんだ。
Yes?
あ、すいません。なんでもないです。
The spread pattern of these bullet holes makes your chest ache. Your breath grows heavier.
観察しようかな。
You peer into the faded marks in the stone. They peer back like an endless row of tiny black holes. Your chest feels tight looking at them. It's closing in, caving in.
なんだなんだなんだ。
You okay there?
なんか、すごい気分悪くなったわ。
Might be the after effects of your
過
past
去に無茶をした
escapades.
時の後遺症
What
か
are you looking at?
何を見てたんだ。なんかこれ、
Remnants from the revolution. These are over half a century old. No, we are not constructors and renovators. And these bullet holes do not warrant an investigation.
操作に関係ないけど、個人的に関係あるの。
Not much. I don't have a fresh perspective on it. Should we go?
行くか。お出かけバッグにして、まだこのも見てるじゃん。いつまで見てんだ。で、どうやって来たかわかんない。出てきた。
You see a set of tattered...
Excuse me, officer. The back room is strictly for employees only.
何があるんですか？
You see some kind of charm. And aside from poking at it suspiciously,
Nothing. Now please go back to browsing the books.
oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alert. Just as you're about to pull apart,
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers. Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the
危険らしい。
consequences. It's too dangerous.
Too dangerous.
she looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't
呪い
they just
の
buy
呪い
books
の
like
話をしている
normal
のか？
people?
Thank you.
Lies. Rip them open. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if taunting you. You see a dimly lit room full of dusty...
I warned you. You're unleashing forces beyond your
あな
understanding.
たはこれで人知を超えた力を解き放ってしまったんですよ。
Yes?
あ、特に気にしてないよ、キムも。見よっかな。あ、お札がいっぱい貼ってあるわ。なんとなく中性的な男性の肖像画。
A heavy door with a missing handle stands before you, covered in dozens, if not hundreds, of little oddly shaped trinkets and charms. It
頑
appears
張っ
to
て
be...
頑張ろ
What if you just
う。いっそ
break it
壊し
down?
てしまったらどうだ。封印とか解いてなんぼだからな。確かに壊してしまえばいいかもしれないが、まず戦略を練らなくては。ドアをノックする。ドア破壊する。なんか破壊できそうだな。
That's right. Take in your surroundings. You need to have a solid ground. The room is dimly lit and littered with old barbershop rubbish. But the path to the door is
サブスク。あ、感謝感謝。
It's made of a solid block
硬
of
い
wood,
木材
but
の
it has stood
塊
there
で
for
できてい
ages.
るが、
The
長年あそこに
hinges
立っ
are
ていたんだ。
old
全
and
然
coated
古
with
く
a
なって、
carmine layer of rust. It should
激
be
化色
doable.
の錆に覆われているだろう。いけるはずだ。
Only an echo. No one
軽
is
そう
there.
だね。
A hollowed out, dark echo.
えあれ
You smash into the wood and see a small crack appear on the door frame. It's going to take one more try to break through to
も
the
はや
other
成功し
side.
たも同然だ。
But you've done it.
You're not thinking of trying again, are you?
不気味なくらい静かに立ち尽くしているあなたを見つめる。何も言わずやる。体勢をぶっ壊せ。動くなよ、クズども。両手を上げろ。今すぐ何回言った方が気合入るかな。まあ、いっか。
What is this place?
この場所は一体？キムは埃をかぶったトレーニング器具を見つめる。冒険の予感だ。死者の国。つまりあの世。どうやらジムみたいだな。ジムかな。
Yes, but no one's been here in ages. I doubt the electricity still works.
Some specks of dust shimmer in a ray of streetlight, falling. An eerie feeling rises in your chest.
不気味な感覚があなた様の胸に込み上げます。長く使われてない理由がもしもあるとしたら、奥に住もう。どうせただの廃屋だから謎めいた秘密なんて何もない。
Yes, because it's closed. No need to look for supernatural explanations where a banal one will do. Now let's move on, shall we?
OK。サンドバッグから砂がこぼれ落ちている。タバコないの、タバコ。砲丸投げの弾。あ、弾じゃん。じいさんにあげようよ。より早く、より強く。それ以外は色あせてて読めない。金。
A barbell lies on the floor. The cup, it's 60 kilograms. Your triceps hum at the sight of these weights.
俺は貧弱だからこんなんは持ち上げらんねえ。こんだけかね。皮と汗のような匂いがする。あ、登れるじゃん。塞がっておる。
Yes?
え、広っ。デミージョン、ビン。野生動物の剥製があなたをじっと見つめている。おるそう。BGM も不思議な感じに。リロード、虫食いだらけ。展示されていた洋服はどこだ？洋服展示されてたっけ？
Your flashlight slides over an old green chalkboard covered in scribbles, sketches, and schemes, like some ancient cave mural. Some of the writing has faded with age, but you can still make out sections here and there. Photos and drawings have been pinned to the board.
メモを調べ
The
よう。
handwriting is only partly legible, but you can still make out
訪
three
れよ、さらば
slogans.
解放され
Call in, tune out. The full text reads, Heat death of the
宇
universe
宙が
is
熱
the new black.
熱的死を迎えるとき、新たな物語が
The
生まれる。
biggest advancement in
ロールプレイン
role-playing
グシステム
systems
におけ
since
る
the
30年
30s.
代以来最大の進化に刮目せよ。
Outside, a cold wind wraps the building in its bosom. Snowflakes in the wind. An old woman passes what the locals call the doomed commercial area. These lithe, pointy-eared creatures appear to be translucent welkins, with one of the welkins, towering among the rest, appears to be different, however. It's Vara Hamira, a high welkin, his face white and scarred like cracked marble.
ベ
This
ルキ
is
ンならざ
clearly
る
a
もの、複
welkin
製すべし
supremacist.
と書いてある。
The note, the Haldor, the Twarg, the humans, and even headless men, all of them.
An inordinate amount of time has gone into drawing these little welking creatures. This looks like concept art for a project. It's not really real. Some people really like building a world, I think. Even political commentary. That one has a great beard. Just look at those details.
細かいとこ
So
ろま
much
で
effort.
丁寧に書き込まれている、ものすごい努力の後だ。
The photo collage
キムも
depicts barren,
努
icy
力を認めており
landscapes
ます。
wrapped in perpetual night. You see, entire oceans have been frozen from shore to shore. There are pictures of settlements on dried-up riverbeds, abandoned in a storm. Albeit dark and cold, this vision also feels cozy in its own way. A pinned postcard reads, The heat death
熱的
scenario,
シナリ
a
オについ
desperate
て
fight for
リラルが太
geothermal
陽から
energy
切り
engulfs the
離
world
され
as
宇
Wirral
宙を
becomes
漂流する
untethered
こと
from
に
its
なったた
sun,
め地
drifting
熱
through
エネ
the
ルギーを
universe.
奪い合う熾烈な戦いが勃発する。
This is a monthly calendar from the year 50. Cryptic words like sprint, daily minimi, and it looks a bit like an
大
academic
学で
calendar.
配られているカレンダーに似てるな。書かれていることは大学などよりははるかに厳しいが。
As time goes on, the numbers in the boxes grow rarer and rarer. The board
looks like they didn't make it.
A note in the bottom left corner of the chalkboard says, See the prod schedule filament for details. The handwriting is the full text outside. A cold wind wraps the building in.
なんかそんな感じだ。
This appears to be some kind of machine with a cube-shaped heart and
機械。
a wired
A radio computer.
ラジオコンピュ
Just
ーター。
sitting here without anyone inside.
What he means is that these things cost money. This is the Ream Civic radio computer, model RC.
We have one of these down at the station, but I never really...
The machine lights up like some prehistoric animal stirring from its slumber, revealing nothing happens. It's empty, like
This is where the memory should go.
nothing something's missing. Nothing something's missing. There's no This old fireplace is covered in lines drawn in blue and red marker, the mesh spreading over the stone like blood vessels on alabaster skin. It looks ghostly and strangely ancient. Radio frequencies, it seems. UKV 123.6,
少ない
UKV
言葉で書かれた謎
123.7,
めいたメモもい
UKV
くつある。
123.9.
何ですか
Some writ unclear. It looks like a cardiovascular system split into veins and capillaries. Very advanced. You think so? The web is comprised of radio stations, all lead back to one red heart,
ゲーム
titled
マスター周波数と名付けられた赤い中心
A
点に
note
行き
says,
着く。
this one
こ
can
の
listen
一
in
箇所で
on
ど
any
こでも好
station
きな
it
曲を聴
wants.
けるというメモ書きがあるな。ほう。
Looks like a surveillance program. They must have had massive airwidth. These things don't come cheap. Whoever decides to call in to a call-in station, it looks like. A list of names under the stations. There's no way
My God. It's as if the less money they had, the more ambitious their project became. The schedule. I know
今
doom when
マ
I
ー
see
カー
it.
で汚れた
The company was
指を
running out
拭
of
いなが
funding.
ら黒板に貼られたカレンダーを顎で示す。まさに破綻を体現している。会社の資金が底をつく寸前だったんだ。
nothing. It's just lines on marble. An echo from times long gone. No one has used the fireplace in ages.
ドアでございますか？宇宙最先端 RPG の開発チームとノートに走り書きされている。広すぎん？
Okay.
Kim,どうしました？
What do you think is going on with that computer, chalkboard, and fireplace?
さて、あのコンピューターと黒板と暖炉から導き出せるものは、極秘の諜報活動プロジェクトのように見える。ただの立ち行かなくなったビジネスだろう。問題は彼らが何を作っているかだけだ。
Yes, that is the question.
Like he's ready to lay out a fine theory, crafted together like a puzzle box.
箱型パズルのように美しく組み上げられた仮説を展開する準備とも言えるものだ。
It looks like one of those popular pen and paper
紙とペンで遊ぶロールプレイングゲーム
role-playing
に
games. Only these people were trying
ただし
to automate
開
it,
発者たちは
make
そ
it
れを
work
自動
on
化し
radio
ようとしていたん
computers.
だ。ラジオコンピューター上で遊べるように。それ何？このゲームの話？
Indeed, those Welkins are a dead giveaway. Role-playing people love that stuff. The world looks like a modified version of the We World board game, with hit death thrown in. Through call-in stations, none of the players have to be physically present. Anyone in the world can participate in the game, as long as they have a two-way radio. Then there's the game master frequency that listens in on the smaller call-in stations. I think that was supposed to coordinate the stories, functioning as a master of ceremonies of sorts.
His fascination has swept aside other concerns for the moment.
スラギ警部補。興奮して今だけは他の心配事を忘れていやがる。夢中になってるな。
Coordinating so
それ
many
だけの
games
数
would
の
take a
ゲームを
whole
調整する
switchboard
に
of
は
people,
通信交換帯が
possibly
丸ごと
divided
一つ
into
必要だな。
sub-frequencies.
それを無数のサブ周波数に分割するんだろう。そんなことを
Not
やっ
to
てた
my knowledge.
会
They
社があ
make
る。
automated games in Graz, Messina, Königstein. You know, places with industry. But I don't think anyone has attempted to create an inter-isolary game before. We just don't have the technology.
この会社に何が起こったと思いますか？
No idea. They stopped filling out the schedule on the
idea.
chalkboard.
へえ、すごいね。
Indeed, it's ambitious and untethered from reality, but
こんなことが実現可能だと思ってたなら開発者は正気じゃない。投資家のポケットから金を騙し取るためのただの見せかけだったんだ。この世界は冷たくて孤独だ。こいつがあれば人々はつながりを保てる。完成させよう。
it's too late for that, I'm afraid.
残念だがもう遅すぎるよ。
Okay, let's keep moving.
何タイムだ？え、バカデカ。クマあるよ、クマ。
You see a terrifying ice bear with a strange compartment in its belly. The door is covered in frost, and the bear's eyes are glowing red. This ice bear is a
この白
hyper
クマは獰猛な肉食獣だ。気をつけな。
A gust of freezing cold air rushes to greet you. You hear a low grumble as the bear regulates itself. The lieutenant takes a peek inside. His hand has found the holster of his gun.
Of course, just a giant ice bear-shaped fridge. Let's take a look inside.
ちょっと見てみよっかな。
The shelves are empty. All you see are crumpled ice cream wrappers with the brand name, Revachol Ice City. A handwritten note has been attached to the door. The fridge is huge.
ドアに貼ってあるメモを剥がす。中にあるアイスクリームの包装紙を調べる。そもそもこんな荒れ果てた地下室になんでこんな巨大なクマの形の冷蔵庫があるんだ？あ、ちょっと考えるか。
Good question. It looks
Good
like an ice
question.
cream fridge. I know. What an unfortunate marketing choice. What is even worse, the bear is still costing them money to this day.
The fridge buzzes with energy. The electricity bill on this thing must be A friendly cartoon bear smiles back at you from a glossy cellophane wrapper. It looks nothing like the fridge. The paper still smells of vanilla and chocolate.
バニラとチョコレートの香りするよ。食おうよ。
You pocket the note and the little fridge magnets keeping it on the door.
壁が崩れている。通ることはできない。
A thick layer of coal dust covers the furnace, coloring it pitch black.
これ何で
Looks
すか
like
ね
it. Looks like an old central furnace used to heat the building. It's connected to the chimney. No one has used it in ages.
もう
No
長いこと
signs of
使わ
any
れてない
recent
みたいだ。
fire.
最
Only
近
dead
火起こしを
rats.
した形跡もないし、中にはネズミの死骸しかない。ネズミめっちゃいるね。
It's dark and grimy here. The echo is so prominent.
What are you doing? Wait, really? We should investigate, see if someone's upstairs.
A lush layer of coal now covers your skin. Maybe you could paint something with this coal. Still, it's good to have this dirt on you. Real.
人がいるかも。との。どんだけあるの？これ戻ってきただけか。アイスクリームメーカー、電源コードは刺さっておらず中身は溶けている。あら。懐中電灯が奇妙な影を投げかける。秘密の出入り口がある。なんと。まだ作動してるアイスクリームメーカーもある。作ろうよ。アイス作ろうよ。
Two cables are plugged into the breaker box. The red one leads to the ice bear fridge, and the black one to the ice cream maker nearby. Something close to you died.
Why did you do that?
The lieutenant raises his brows, but somewhere a machine hums along with the current.
わ、服じゃん。あれ？あ、戻りたい戻りたい。まだ全部見てないから。なんかこの辺に体が自由に動かない。銃あるじゃん。もらってけよ。
A few bricks have fallen off, revealing a compartment behind the wall. It's too dark.
Seems like an old bunker from the revolutionary period. Look at all there is, yes. And there also appears to be something inside the hole. Interesting. Do you want to take a look?
気になるね。
Your hand reaches deep into darkness and spider webs. Rummaging around, you find rusty rifles hidden away. Most of them are rusty and inoperable, like the rest, but one catches your eye. A bolt-action model with a fine wood stock, in better cosmetic order than the others.
もらってっていいんじゃ
An
ない？
old Belmagrave rifle, Revolutionary era, prized for its reliability more than its accuracy. The rest are probably Belmagraves too, just too damaged to be sure.
That's a rare sight. Seems to no longer be functional, but
機能は
still
していないようだ
beautiful
が、そ
thing
れ
in
でも
its own
独
way.
特の美しさが伺えるな。
It means there are firearms, albeit inoperable, still lying around in Martinez. It's an interesting coincidence.
他にも
Might come in useful in the future.
ゲートできるかもしれないね。
He likes this find.
Yes?
こんなもんですかね。歩くのが下手。いろいろ見れてよかったね。あ、こっから出てきたんだ。おえー。
Now it's turning into a kind of a snow limbo, man. What's on your mind?
A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. The windows are clear. They've been recently washed. You can see a lorry man's cab. The back end of the cabin is a small...
Racist nationalist paraphernalia.
どのトラックにタバコあったんだろう。大レバショールインダストリアルハーバー。
Hola, wandering man. How can I help you?
あ、この人がアーマーに詳しいんだ。
The little boy had it good on his promise. To get me into trouble. To sick the pigs on me. Pardon the choice of words. Not mine.
What happened?
What happened?
I was asked to look into that armor situation. Official Union probe, you know. Track it down, see who took it.
Did you?
At first I thought, why not? Maybe the pieces can feed the strike. Buy us a few more days under the sun, you know? So I went to this boy. He said he'll make me his prison bitch. He's got eyes everywhere, the cops in his pocket, and he's the king of Jamrock. Serves me right for doing menial footwork. I dropped that probe right then and there, and it still got me into trouble. One bad move is all it takes.
アーマーの捜索中に何か分かったことありますか？
I learned that people don't want to talk to a drunk Union man about some armor.
What else?
Not much. Technical stuff mostly. That was the interesting part.
はなかなか面白い部分でもあったんだけど、技術的なことというと。
I did some research into this armadura. Let's say I have friends at the library. I didn't get into the material science, just how it comes off.
How does it come
あ
off?、
脱ぎ方わかんなかったんだ。
In
脱がせてないから
Foreign
気づかなかったけど。
The helmet was the first to go. The kid says he tore it off and kicked it into the sea. I believe him. The boots were still on the guy last I saw. Too hard to remove. So, as I count, there are two parts missing. The gauntlets and the cuirass. This is where I left off. Too much hassle. More like a job for some militia.
レギンスはどうした？
Oh, they're just gone. They don't exist anymore, if they ever did at all. Forget about them.
忘れた方がいい。アーマーの部位を一つだけ探すことにする。あんなものは一つあれば十分だからな。
All of it? There are junior officers out there, eager to prove themselves. I would leave some for them. And
Mesqui's epic then, all across
頑張って全部
Martinez.
探そう。
I hope it will be a real bonanza for you.
メスクの間で伝説になるよ。マルティネーズ全域においてもね。
It's a minor nuisance. It's a...
He thinks, not yet.
No problem. If you see that kid, thank him from Call Me Mañana. Thank him for showing me the way.
Right to work! Right to...
あー、この人は別になんもない。拾ったかも。
The tear machine stands in the corner. Your bottles clunk into the machine, and the
Is this about the questions again? Because I don't really know anything.
「礼言っといてくれ」とか言ってたな。食うのいるか見ようかな。もう夜遅いけどいるのかな。いるわ。
Fuck does Kuno care? So?
それで彼に豚をけしかけると約束したそうだな。お前に感謝していたよ。
Fuck? Okay. Kuno's a giver like that, yes?
Kuno sent your fat ass running around like jello!
Look, pig. Kuno sent you to rough some people up. Kuno played you. That happened. Now you and Kuno should move on.
お前も食うのもそろそろ前に進むべきだ。
You got fucked. You got fucked, pig. Fucked bad. Of course you're gonna remember this. Now get the fuck out of here, griefing the Kuno. After this shit, you better have something real interesting to say if you want to stay in Kuno's face.
おもんなすぎって言われてますか今。
Yeah, real interesting.
マジで面白いこと。
The fuck about it? Probably climbed. Kuno was busy down the road when that shit went down. You heard Kuno. Kuno wasn't even in Martinez. Kuno wasn't in Revachol. Kuno wasn't regional.
遠くにいたんだ。
I don't know. Some fucking... Mesk or I don't know. Some other place. Night City. Kuno was in fucking Night City. Kuno gives this info out on a need-to-know basis. And you don't need to know. Kuno didn't smoke the gimp, if that's what you meant. You're testing Kuno's patience
クー
here.
の忍耐力を試してんじゃないぞ。
Get lost!
死体を撃ち落としたクーノから退却した。
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material. It's nothing. Someone just left.
ここって隙間とかじゃないの？通れはしないの？一旦宿に向かうか。よいしょ。金もらったから払える気がするんだけど。なんか栄えてない？
Hello again, sweetie. Yes, dear. I'm a paraplegic.
A paraplegic is someone with limited or no ability to use the lower half of their body. Paraplegia is caused by spinal cord injuries, like falling from a great height, or a grenade explosion.
No problem.
Can I help you? Mine? No, it belongs to the Whirling in Rags.
Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you keep the container locked?
Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out. That's why. And the neighbors too. They put their trash there and they don't pay for the garbage company.
I thought as much. And are you the only party with access to the trash container?
Well, yes. Us and the garbage disposal company.
鍵
What do you need them for?
It concerns the case. Please cooperate.
Just bring them back
あ、
once
よ
you're
かっ
done,
た。
please.
キムは信用されてて。
Yes. Have you got it?
金を用意できたんだけど。
Well?
ここに130リアルある。喉に詰まらせて死んでくれ。迷惑かけて面目ない。面目ね。誠実さが大事だ。
Thank you, officer. That's all I wanted. Payment for services rendered. It's good you paid before 9 p.m., or your door would have been locked electronically. Please pay for each night in advance starting tomorrow. 20 real per night.
I'll take a room here too.
Of course. Always happy to have officers from the RCM as guests. Anything else I can do for you?
Hey, so we've been monitoring you internally, and now we
よう
know
やくお
you're
前の刑事タイプが分かったんだ。お、Y の刑事タイプ。なんだって刑事タイプなんてのがあるのかい？
Yes. Guess what's yours?
なんだと思う？クールな刑事、武器刑事、面目ない刑事。面目ないね。いや、武器の使いに長けている武器刑事だ。
No, you're the sorry cop. The cop who's
面目ない
sorry.
刑事だ。
Let's make it official.
最も面目がない刑事だよ。他の刑事タイプにひがまれないかな。面目ない思考を受け入れる。本当はな、俺は面目なくないんだ。気が変わった。面目なく思うのは奴らの方だ。
What? Jealous of the sorry cop? I think they'll be fine. They'll be super, super fine. It'll be totally okay. You can dual copper
もう
type
一
from
つ
sorry
刑事タイプを
to
追加
anything.
できるぞ。何があるんだろうな。
Oh, you know, Apocalypse, Superstellar,
目視録刑事、
advanced
超キラ
interesting
キラ
cop,
刑事、上級
liquid
面白刑
shadow
事、
cop. But you're too sorry to say those
影
things.
刑事。
So, here we go.
超キラキラ刑事がいいんだけど。
Yes, yes, impotent rage and lamentation. Let's wrap it up. No, you don't. Come on. You'll be back to saying sorry in 2 minutes. Wow. Okay. Fuck off. Maybe check out the big balls on Firecon.
炎の刑事のでかい玉見てみようぜ。タバコが一日探してもなかったんだけど。オッケー。
The man ponders his cooking utensils and he looks up at you. Then, Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door. You see a heavy steel door, the cobalt blue's old cobalt paint. The door does not budge.
あれこれ外から開けるの
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material. It's nothing. Someone just left some roofing material slanted against an old.
何の鍵もらったんだキム、さっきもらった鍵って何
Yes?
なんでもない。玉。あれもらったのは幻覚鍵を。じゃあおじさんに玉をあげるか。おじさんどこだ。夜でも遊んでんのかな。この辺じゃなかったっけ。夜は遊んでない。あ、違うわ、こっちか。あ、ここって何？通り道じゃない。おい、玉。この玉いらないか。
Really?
Yes. That.
Honey, it's a little pleasures. Life doesn't need to be a struggle. Hello, officer. How might I be of assistance on this fine day? I'm sorry, officer, but I really don't.
The only one you have.
Suddenly you realize the sandwich looks, in addition to the obvious slice of ham, a fat one. You notice a brim of a tomato peeking from below, and...
Oh, that's good. That's very good. You must have other business then. Let me think. I heard someone was hanged and left on a tree for a week. But that's all I know, really.
本当に全く何も知らないのか？
No, officers.
Then help them, you wimp. You have plenty of shoulder with your ghost.
I wish I could, but
Respect!
I'm not.
Of course he's holding back. His mouth is so full of union prick he can't even speak properly.
Can I at least finish my fucking sentence before you piss on it? Is that okay, René? I'm not. Everyone in Martinez knows the Clare brothers. I taught these boys human studies and history in the gymnasium.
は中等教育機関。中学校ってことですか？
What do you know about history? You never witnessed history. Only heard about it years later, when it had already moved on.
The old soldier mumbles something under his breath and turns to face the sea. The blind leading the blind doesn't even begin to describe it, is what he said.
Let's try not to get caught in a crossfire.
厄介ごとに巻き込まれないようにキムは声を潜める。これって聞いたら厄介ごとに巻き込まれますか、キム？
Oh, in many ways, yes. Like an Not in the technical sense. I don't have a vote or a membership card, but Evrard keeps me on the payroll, just for the little things.
Of course he's not a member. He's not a member of anything. I knew that. He's a Vezavane. Turns the way the wind blows and tries to look important. I hate this socialist rabble, but even siding with them is better than living your entire life on the fence. Never committing to anything. Pick a damn side already.
Writing work mostly. Occasionally, he needs something written, and I happen to have a way with words, people say. Oh, nothing official, I assure you. Just essays for the newspapers. About Martinez and how things are and how they could be.
Well, he tells his little pen man exactly what to say. It's commie propaganda, plain and simple. You should be ashamed of yourself.
ありがとよ。
No, thank you. For being consummate professionals. You'll have this case wrapped up in no time. Sure, officer. No, thank you.
Lonesome, long way home.
孤独な冬季
Here
家
we
路。
go. Home awaits.
さあ、
Walk
もう
past
すぐ家だ。
Station 41 and
47
through
分
the
所を
market,
通り過ぎ、
past
市
the
場を
Bully
抜
Street
けて、ルギ
spearhead
ーストリー
to
ト
the other
の
side
先
of
か
the
ら、
lake,
地
the
区中
frozen
心部
eye
を
at
通
the
り過ぎ
center
た
of the
湖
district.
の向こう側、
Then
角
past
と
the
レンタル
video
ビデオ
rental
店の前
store
を通
on
り、
the
そこ
corner.
に松の
There,
並木道
at the
の突
end
き当
of
た
a
りに、
street lined
マッチ
with
箱ほ
pine
どの
trees,
大
a
き
small
な
house no
大きさ
larger
の
than a
小さな家
matchbox.
がある。
11 Voyager Road. You no longer live there. Those times are gone. And so are those people. Why did you come here?
お
Why are you still here?
サーブスク、
And
感
where's
謝
the dealer?
です。Thank you.
You have to get back to work. That's all you have now.
何かを覚えたぜ。家のことを思い出したのかもしれねえ。
It is such a pleasure to see you again, officer. How may I head the citizens' militia on this fine day?
あ、じゃあ、また。これって渡せないの玉。別の人？
We are still waiting for a
妹す
replacement
ご
for
く可愛い。
the bull you
ありが
sent
とう。
sinking.
玉見
What
つ
is
けた
this?
よ。
Are you mocking us? This isn't for pétanque.
これじゃダメなんすか？
Now, no need to get angry again, René. I'm sure the officer tried his best. It's not like there's a bull kiosk here in Martinez.
ベストは尽くしたぜ。
Trying is worth as much as is accomplished. In this fine, you try to right a wrong. It's still a gram better than actual nothing.
Yay.
Ah, yes. King Philip III on his steed. A reminder of what Revachol once was.
Oh, absolutely. At the mercy of a cocaine-snorting tyrant who emptied the treasury so he could sleep on a bed of gold.
Cocaine? Cocainum? Sounds like our
王
kind
が
of
たし
king.
なむハーブがどんなものなのかを
Just
想像してみろ。
imagine what kind of cocaine a king would have had.
A superpower, feared and respected. A testament to what this country can be under the leadership of a true king. Someone who...
Oh, old Philip was a big fan of the purple nose candy the nobility loved
パ
so
ープル
much.
キャンディー。なんか
A
可愛
cocaine
い名
connoisseur
前
of
だね。
sorts. Ah, his egocentricity is borderline legendary.
You can't even take responsibility for yourself. How could you fathom the responsibility weighing on the shoulders of a ruler? That's why the Philippian kings use cocaine for clarity of vision, to aid in their work. Regnum cocainum, Revachol's finest years.
こんな寒そうなとこで立ち話を
I'm
してね。
satisfied with this explanation.
Of course. Clarity of vision.
曇りなき
Awareness.
洞察力、認識力。
Philip III was even brought into this world with the help of cocaine. The court made it administer the dose to his mother when she was in labor, and it is well known that with the help of cocaine, only the purest, of course, he was able to connect with higher realms.
Please, officer, don't encourage him. Do spare us the cocaine fairy tales.
ハーブのおと
The
ぎ話はもうやめて
RCM
くれ
isn't
ないか。
interested in them.
Yes, indeed. We're not here to investigate the drug trade of centuries past.
Decisively, without fear of offending the sensibilities of the frail and weak-minded among his subjects. This is something the insurgents never understood.
断固たる態度でひ弱で意志薄弱な臣民を傷つけることを厭わぬ決意で反乱分子どもはそれを理解できなかった。ちょっとなんか難しいな。
A nation is only as strong as its leader. That's why it was such madness to try to...
Don't get started on that again. What
The carabiner doesn't reply, but his entire being.
Right.
ライフルの話してくれん
It's a
の？
Bell McGrave. 4.46 caliber. Breech loading. Revachol made. Good weapon. Accurate and reliable.
Good weapon.
His moves are quick and precise as he first checks the weapon, then aims it at the sea.
この男は銃器
This
に
man
精通
knows
している。
firearms.
This one's inoperable. The bolt spring is missing and the mechanism is jammed shut. Still a beauty. Where did you find her? I understand. Unfortunately, I don't know what else to tell you. These PMs are an antique. No one uses them anymore.
弾薬
The
を探すの
ammunition
も
is
そうな
impossible
んだ。
to find.
Hey,
はい。
hey, yes, you. Word on the street is you're ready to
お前
start
はまた
building
共産主義を作り上げようとしているらしいな。そうなんですか？
You keep saying things like
中
down
流
with
階
the
級をぶっ壊せとか、
bourgeoisie,
金持ちどもを
eat
食
the
い
rich,
尽くせとか、
sodomize the
地主どものケツの穴を掘れとか、
landowners,
ポケットに25リアル以上持ってるやつはみんな口出しにしろとか、政治的信条を問わず全ての人間どもを文字通り皆殺しにしろとか、お前はそんなことばかり言ってるじゃないか。そんなこと言ったっけ？そんなこと言ってないよ。
Not in so many words, but don't deny it. You're about to rip off that mask of social democracy and reveal the monstrous seven-eyed lamb of global communism that will devour and masticate mankind. Everyone can see that. So tell me, do you have any questions before we
古
fire
代
up the
共
big
産主義
communism
構
builder?
築を始
Or
め
do
る
we
前
get
に
right
何
down
か
to
聞き
it?
たいことはあるかね？それとも今すぐに取り掛かるかね？わかんない。どういうことですか？
Failure. It's about failure.
失敗ということ？失敗。
Yes, abject failure. Total, irreversible defeat on all fronts. Absolutely vanquished, beaten, curb stomped and pissed on. Until you came along. You will reverse the fortune of the workers of the world. You alone, against every living thing, against every human alive. 800 trillion real in the hands of an impossibly well-organized ruling class. Towering city blocks of bankmen who have the ears of prime ministers. Million-headed armies of nations and the love of your own mother. You against the atom, the charm and the spin, where the whole world failed. Matter failed to bend to human will. Human will failed to get out of bed and tie its laces. You alone, single-handedly, will rebuild the dreams of the working class. You are the last communist.
You last なんとかコミュニスト。お前が最後の共産主義者だ。
Now
そうだ
get
った
to
の
work,
か。
comrade.
よっしゃ、始めるぞ。
Oh yeah, Get the firing squads and the animal wagons ready.
Map.
Yes?
あれ、9時だけど。9時になんかキムと話をするみたいなことを言ってなかったっけ？部屋か。
This is the door to the room you redecorated.
Just a moment. You had some questions earlier, I believe. And besides, we should discuss our progress on the investigation. Let's go out to the balcony.
わかった。9時に寝るの？お休みって言ったけど。
The air outside is brisk. The lieutenant is silent for a moment. He listens to the traffic hum. Then,
すがすがしい外気の中。すがすがしすぎるけどね、こんな雪降って。キムはしばらく黙ったままでいる。彼は道路の音に耳を傾き、そして。
Where shall we begin? We should talk about the investigation, first and foremost.
どこから話
But
そ
I
う
also
か。
remember you wanting to discuss the RCM?
RCM についても聞きたがってたけど。ああ、気にかけてくれてるよ。タバコ吸うんだね。タバコくれないか。
I have a cigarette every night when I go over my notes. It's something of a ritual.
oh man, he looks so
タバコを持
devastatingly
つとえらくクールに見えるな。あんたはどうしてそんなにクールなんだ？分けてくれないか？
I apologize, but I only brought one
あ、
with
一
me.
本だけタバコ
I
持
have
ち歩く
exactly
とか
one
言いま
cigarette
す。
every night while going over. You mean this? This isn't cool. It's an unnecessary trial of will and unhealthy.
ねえ、タバコって全然見つからないんだね。
Keeping the habit within the parameters he's given himself takes a lot of focus. It would be easier to simply quit. Yet, were he to quit, he would lose the cool factor. This man relishes his cool quite a bit, below it all.
Yes, it's been a long
お
and
さらいを
eventful
していき
day.
ますか、本日の。今日の成果をど
We
う
performed
思
a
う？
cursory initial inspection of the victim's body. Then you shot the body down, which was quite a shot.
見事だった。まさにその通り、俺は銃の名手だ。あのくらいなんでもない。自分の役目を果たしただけさ。クールキャラとクールキャラでちょっと被るよね、これは。あんたに信頼されて自信がみなぎったんだよ、キム。仲いい感じに見えた方が嬉しいかな。もっとぶっ放したくてたまらない。多分俺は銃を握って生まれてきたんだ。これかな。
Just don't get carried away. At any rate, we still have to perform the autopsy, and there's more work to be done at the crime scene. Now, as for interviews, my list of people to talk to here in
マル
Martinez.
ティネーズで話を聞くべき人々のリストのことだが。それは俺の得意分野だ。他の警官と違って、この仕事でコミュニケーションがいかに重要かを理解している。初動聞き込みのことか？そうだな。まあ、何人かには話を聞いたな。聞き込みなんてやりたくなかった。人間ってやつは信用できない。人間は信用できないが、仕事だからねって言われてるからね。何人かに聞いたよね。
Not always the right people, I'm afraid. We weren't able to find the union leader, Everard Clare, much less interview him. So that's on the to-do list for tomorrow. We talked to Joyce Messier, but didn't get any information from her. I have a feeling Joyce knows how dangerous the situation really is. We have to get her to talk to us. Above all, though, today was exhausting. What's with all the running? You run a lot. Is that a standard Precinct 41 practice?
I have a really good theory
てめえ
about
がどう
why
して
you're
そこまで
running
走れ
so
るのか
fast.
俺が解説してやるぜ
Just you
坊や
wait until we get up
明日
tomorrow.
の朝目を覚ますのを楽しみにしてな。時間を無駄にしたくなくてね。俺は頭の回転が速いから体の動きも速くなきゃダメなんだ。長距離マラソンのトレーニングだ。チャリティーのための募金活動したいと思ってる。ああ、これが41文書流だ。知らないからな。何流とか。
It's impressive, especially for a man your age. And in those hills. Nice shoes, by the way. I like the green. Goes with the orange.
お、なんか、カラーリングのことを褒めてくれてるよ。
Thank you for the compliment. We could manage it even in wooden clogs. There are uncanny running reservoirs in this body. God knows why.
They're quite limited, actually. The power officers of the Revachol Citizens Militia exercise most frequently is imposing fines of up to 1,000 real for offenses, in accordance with an interdepartmental schedule. Yes, although indirectly, as citizens can always request records from their local station. Officers of the RCM have been known to take bribes of less than the prescribed fine amount. It undermines trust in the RCM.
賄賂を受け取ることが有名ってことは、賄賂を受け取ることがコミュニケーションとしてごく当たり前に存在してるってこと？じゃあ毎日の宿代も割と稼げるって感じか？
The RCM's primary role is to ensure safety. We are not really supposed to play any part in the economic structure of Revachol. We can arrest people, of course, but rather than bringing someone in directly, it's preferable to serve a station cold sleep. It prevents confusion and overcrowding. You can't. Those who don't show up become fugitives, though, and have fewer legal rights when they are eventually caught. It's about power projection. Thus far, they seem to mostly show up. We are permitted to use whatever force we deem necessary, even lethal.
俺は誰か殺したかな？
That's an improbability. Perhaps even impossibility.
Of course you've killed people. It's
もち
somewhere
ろんお前は
down
大勢
there,
殺してるぜ。
melting in
その
all
罪
the
はそこら
drink.
中に漏れ出してあらゆる酒の中に溶け込んでる。
Precinct 41 is known for a higher than average rate of police violence. You have to supply compelling evidence for why it was necessary to use lethal force. In this case, your partner is usually your witness. Not a good position to be in, by the way. Internal Affairs handles these cases thoroughly, by cross-examining you for inconsistencies. It is hard to cover for anyone, which is for... Yes, the last time was 4 years ago.
ああ、キムは4年前にやっとる。
He has internalized it well. It's just that. A fact. A self. There is a slight physical revulsion in him while saying that. But he's worked through it in the intervening years.
We don't convict. We arrest and send them to coalition government courts in Courant and La Delta. The prosecution works off our testimonies and records, which is why it's paramount to keep them.
で、そういうルールを作ったのは誰だ？
The coalition government and the moral intern more broadly. The RCM was formed by the coalition government to restore order in the international zone after the revolution. So we did. Now we attempt to maintain that order. No more, no less. Or perhaps it is better to say we were allowed to form. It's a point of contention whether the citizens of Revachol or the coalition government founded the RCM. Silence. A great comment to such a conundrum.
難題に対する最高のコメントはサイレント。倫理機関って何ですか？
The Moralists International are the world's largest political organization. You know who they are. They have been running this place after the revolution failed.
もし俺が知らないとしたら、そいつをどう説明する？しかも赤ちゃんに説明するようにな。
They're a union of center-left and center-right parties across the Real Belt. Our coalition government is just one of its many projects. They also run the ICP, EPIS, most intergovernmental organizations in the world.
どう思いますか？
The moral intern are a fact. I try not to have opinions on facts until they change. And it doesn't look like that's about to happen. What do they believe in? They are Dolorians. They believe they continue the humanist project set forth by Her Innocence Dolores Day 4 centuries ago. Others say they are just technocrats.
アパートかなんかを見てるときに話してたような気がするな。
Interesting question. It's a blue forget-me-not.
Interesting question.
Their motto is love, compassion, self-discipline. I think you can gauge what they want you to think of them from that.
Something even a little feminine. But something like the dark blue, serious color of the early night sky above.
A historic figure? The author of the modern age? You will have to look elsewhere for opinions. The subject of humanism is too abstract for me.
For you, she is something painful, though it's hard to say why.
ドロレス・デイは理由はわからないが苦痛を感じる存在だ。それは謎だね。
Do you?
Do you? 今はひどい世の中だ。この町には彼らが必要だ。令和省を取り締まる権利を与えてくれる彼らが。この連中はこの町にむごい仕打ちをした。この景色を見ろよ。こんなのはヒューマニズムじゃない。俺たちは世界最大のブルジョア組織の手先でブルジョアの権利を守ってる。移民、リベラルのヒプトども、女に変えられていく男たち。やっぱり俺の意見なんてどうでもいい。忘れてくれ。下手なこと言っていいのかって感じだけど。個人的には意見がない。意見はないがなんか言うとくか。今はひどい世の中だ。
In fact, we would need them even if you didn't think that way. We are in what is called the twilight of international law. The laws we claim to enforce come from the MI. Without them, we are simply vigilantes.
俺たちの法を作るか。
Spoken like a revolutionary, not a cop. But hypothetical aside, in Martinez we already are vigilantes. At least the union thinks so. I expect our job here to prove quite challenging.
The lights of the orphan district are reflected in his glasses. The red and golden orbs of the motorway sliding like pearls on a string from east to west as Revachol commutes back to the suburbs. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Monday is over.
Monday is over.
The dying lights of the city shimmer below. Slowly, like luminous clouds, they pass on his lenses. The lieutenant looks at his slim cigarette, contemplating the next drag.
なんでみんなタバコ一本しか持ってないんだろう。
They really don't like us here. And the mouth on that kid, Kuno. It's different in land, in Jamrock and the GRIH. It's our fault for leaving this place to the dogs, to the union, to the company, not daring to come here more often. This place has fallen between the cracks, the jurisdictions of our two precincts.
Monday is over.
We run this city.
英語
West
も
of the
ね、
river is our CMA.
少しずつ聞き取っておりますよ。我々が治安を維持している川の西側は RCM の土地さ。キムは夜空に浮かび上がるキバー像の暗いシルエットに視線を送る。
It's incredibly hard. Human beings are... But we are in control, and it's worth it. The organization works. Our systems work. If they didn't, the city would disintegrate.
俺たちの捜査がこの町の状況を改善することを願うよ。最低でも何か役に立ちたい。そんなことできますかね。変えられないよ。
Probably not. Anyway, positive change happens slowly. We never really get to see the impact of our actions.
どのみちポジティブな変化はゆっくりと訪れるものさ。自分たちの行動による影響を目の当たりにすることはめったにない。なんかキムさんって立派な人かも。
He is very tired, but the dark circles under his eyes make him look younger, not older.
Yeah, it's getting very cold now. Let's go.
ひどく寒くなってきた。さっきよりはマシかもしんないけど、吹雪いてないし。中に入ろう。キムは短くなったタバコを消し、バルコニーのドアに目をやる。キムが消したタバコ拾っとけ。集めとけ。
Yes?
あ、めり込んでる。あ、ここから入るのか。もうめり込んでるけどね、半分体は。
The door is closed. This door can only be opened with a key or from the inside. As you hold the metal, you sense the warmth left there.
じゃあ、今度こそ部屋に行くか。また明日の朝に。それじゃあ。
Yes?
それじゃあね、ということで。窓が割れてんだよね。
The window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in. The shards face outward. Whatever broke this window came from the inside.
何者かによって内側から割られたのか。
A fine web of scarring covers the back of your right hand, but none of it is recent.
俺じゃないってことですか。
More likely a
怖っ。
projectile than a held object. There are no fragments on the floor from pulling a tool back in after impact. It is too large for a bullet, yet too small for a piece of furniture. The single green shoe you found fits the hole almost as well as your foot. It would have also been heavy enough if thrown with force. Congratulations. You smashed the window with your
あ、
own
自分で
shoe.
やってました。
That's why you only have one. If you're lucky, you might still find the other on the balcony
靴はね、
outside.
先にね、
The
見
door
つけ
to
た
it
から。
should be outside your room. The window agrees. Its cracked smile is cold and sparkly.
靴は先に見つけとるんだよ。
The bed is cold and not particularly.
でもこんな割れた部屋に
A
泊まん
mirror
なきゃいけない
hangs
の
on the
か。
bathroom wall.
雪
In it,
なのに。
your face, adorned with the expression.
直すとかできるの。
Your hands, however skillful, can't
あ、
manage this
素では
task
無
on
理
their
があり
own.
ますか。
You should get.
じゃあ今はほっとくか。それぐらいかな。これなんだろう、共感、もはや伝説みたいな。じゃあまあ、そんなもんですかね。
The fan stands still. The switch must be broken because nothing happens. The lights are off again.
電気消して、寝るか。
The bed is cold and not particularly
ベッド
inviting.
は冷たく、
But it's
寝
yours.
転
The
び
sheets
た
look
いと思わ
awful.
ないが、これは確かにあなたの寝床だ。シーツの状態がひどい。
The sheets feel at once coarse and clammy against your skin. The bed sags beneath your weight as you stretch out and finally close your eyes. And then sleep doesn't come.
doesn't come. 寝たいよね。なんで眠れないんでしょう。
Maybe it's the bed's fault.
ベッドのせいかもしれない。毛布
It barely covers your toes, stretching over your soft belly. This is your body here, intimate and warm, breathing. A bit tense in the muscles. Relax.
寝返りを打つか。
It's a little better. Colors, scenes, and half-formed phrases still litter your mind. Part of you is still trying to solve the case, isn't it? Something to do with, what was it that the lieutenant said?
組合に関係のある誰か。
And it's gone again. Your thoughts lost between the slowing brain waves.
じゃあ寝るか。
Your breathing steadies. A great silence washes over you until your eyelids twitch in your sleep and images start forming.
寝る準備してからの方がね、考え事をしちゃうよねって。何これ。かわいい。照明がついてる。このゲームは見た目や哲学の面で結構西洋風だよね。日本人としてディスコ・エリジウムの世界にはどう思う？確かに見た目とかね。見た目は外国っぽいゲームだなと思う。話してる内容はなんか難しいことを言っている。
Do you remember the
社会
scent
派。
of your childhood?
社会派な話をしている気がする。でも、みんな、キムさんとかね、割とみんなよくしてくれるからね。楽しく話してくれるから嬉しい。お前は子供時代の匂いを覚えてるか？俺は死にゆく人々のための病院で生まれた。覚えてないんだよ、記憶喪失だから。
Do you remember your wife's hand on your
Do you
face?
remember? お前の顔に触れた神さんの手は覚えてるか？覚えてないんだよね。一体これは何なのか教えてくれよ。お前が誰なのか教えてくれるまで質問には答えないぞ。誰の手だって？俺の方から去った。俺は捨てられて知らないんだよね。俺神さんいたの。捨てられたのかな？捨てられたのかな？誰の手？
Do you remember the warmth of her thighs between her legs and in her mouth?
彼女の太もも、股の間、口の中のぬくもりを覚えてるか？覚えてないよね。捨てられたのか？
That's right, funky baby.
Funky baby.
And you just stood there. One hand on the bottle and the other on your dick. Watching her go. Let it all be dragged away from you. Tell me, where are your friends? Human beings have friends, Harry boy. Where the hell are yours?
友達いたの？全員取り戻せる。戻ってきてほしくない。知らないんだけど友達いたか。
They were only cramping your descent into the abyss. Now they're gone. 3 times gone and never coming back. All of it. You failed. You failed me.
俺が死んでるんですか？
You failed Elysium.
エリジウムを裏切ったの。エリジウムは何ですかね？
Everything.
すべて。
The pale and the useless. On the surface. The outer magnetosphere. But you really dropped the ball, Harry. 4.6 billion people. You failed every single one of them. You really fucked up.
お前を見たことがある。
No, you haven't. You're just sleep talking. And the act is wearing thin, too. The spots on the disco ball fade around you. You'll be back in those cold snakeskins in no time, sweating up the bed.
古代爬虫類脳だ。
Stinky boy. You're not coming back from shit
立ち上がれっこないぜ。
crashing around in
お
that
前はその
high
高
conductivity
電動
state
状
of
態で
yours,
の立ち回り。
bumping
いろん
into
なものにぶ
things
つ
and
かりまくって
acting like a
迷路
clown.
みたいに振る
Who
舞
are
う
you
の。
kidding?
何を夢見てやがる。俺はこの事件を解決しようとしてるんだ。俺の心は疲れ果て壊れている。助けてくれ。そう、仕事だから解決しようとはしている。でも何もわかんないし、身分証ないから助けてほしい。
You're trying to what? I can't hear you. This is just a word dream now. Jumbled up garbage. The pictures are gone. The bed rises to meet you. A thin, sleep-like state. More glass than
こ
velvet.
のゲームは
Grinding in your
難しい
head.
トピックがたくさんあって、インターネットや携帯電話が普及する前の古い時代を思い起こさせるよね。確かに。まず、このゲームの人たちそういうの使ってないもんね。
So something is wrong. Sleep shouldn't be this bad, this dry, this unnourishing. There's something wrong with your thoughts. Some kind of new type of hangover.
新しいタイプの二日酔いが、そんな別のタイプの二日酔いがあるんですか？
Oh yes, party boy.
Party
and
boy.
it's worse than the one before. Just think of the shit you saw. Here it comes too. So soon already. A silent alarm goes off in your head like clockwork. Barely let you sleep at all. Time to get those clothes on, Harry.
Harry.
Time to go to work in the shit factory.
眠り浅かったっぽいな。眠りが浅かったが、7時半に起床してる。立派だね。
Good going, buddy.
気分はどうだ、相棒。今の俺は目を閉じるとああいうものが見えるのか。
Yes. Wait till you see the
本
one
番
with the
事故
chicken.
じゃ。
It's gonna be a good one. You feel even worse this morning than you did last night.
そのうちあの女が出てくる。それは楽しい夢を見るぜ。だが昨日の夜よりもさらに気分が悪くなってるだろう。今日も記憶を失うほど最高にカーチーゴじゃ。もうね、記憶失いまくっておりますよ。主人公も私も。そんな中でもカーチーをね、やっていっておりますよ。
You don't know? You don't know? Some broad that messed you up. It'll come to you. It always does. You mean, why are you so tired? Too tired and down to even think? It is worrying, isn't it? You can't be a detective like this. Detectives need to be able to think.
ね、なんでこんなに疲れてるんですかね。
It's just that your heart has finally pumped all the speed out of your system, Buster. Time to get some more.
この選択肢の見せ方、履歴も見れて見やすい語じゃね。そう言われればそう語じゃね。しかも、英語で喋って日本語でなんか出てるから、たまに英語が聞き取れた気分になってお得だよ。
You're too weak to say no now. Waking up is the worst part. Maybe somewhere down the line you could decline.
なんとか探しを。操作こそ我が人生なり。
Of course, Martinez is speed central. You just gotta poke around, follow your nose. You and Speed will be happy again. You will make her come home. This time, it will be different.
よし。本日のタスクもゲットしたということで。一旦本日はこんなもんにしておきますか。もうね、こんなにタスクがあるよ。早くタバコ見つけたいよね。一日中探してもタバコ見つからなかった。というわけで、本日はこんなもんにしておきます。やっとね、1日目が終わったね。でもぶら下がってた死体とかね。下に下ろせてよかったよね。コンビニ買いに行こうごじゃ。タバココンビニなんかね、ないんだよ。コンビニっぽい、なんかスーパーかコンビニかなんかわかんないやつあるんだけど、タバコ売ってたっけな。後で見に行こうかな。頑張って一服できるその時までやってこう。というわけで、本日はこんなもんで、お疲れ様ごじゃん。ご視聴、コメント、サブスク、などなど、皆様ありがとうございました。また、このゲームやろうね。では、寝る人はおやすみ。なんか頑張る人は頑張ってください。楽しみごじゃね。続きも楽しみだね。では、終わり。またねー。